on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer. And baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on NFL schedule release day. We know about half of the Chiefs' schedule. We will get to that coming up in just a little bit. We are also happy to tell you the scheduled guest that we have for the show today, Frank Caliendo, legendary comic. He is going to be on the show coming up at 2:45. He has 3 shows this weekend, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday at the Funny Bone. Go see Frank Caliendo. He'll call into the show coming up later today at 2:45. We are also expecting to be joined by the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, is scheduled to be on the show coming up at 3:15. So go tell your friends about it. The head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, is scheduled to be on the show coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. We are going to begin with the Kansas City Chiefs and the schedule. We got a lot to get into in today's show. But before we do that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I would greatly appreciate if you did that. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the open of the show each and every day is brought to you by our friends out at the other place. Stop by, grab a bite to eat, grab some lunch, grab some dinner, grab a drink, catch whatever sporting event is on, and go see our friends over at the other place. So where I would like to begin our conversation today is with the Chiefs schedule. Now, I am not going to insult your intelligence nor waste your time by sitting here and going through the wins and losses. Number one, we don't have the entire schedule. And number two, that is a stupid exercise. So I'm not going to do that. But I do think you can make some takeaways from the portion of the schedule that we do have. Let's start with number one. Patrick Mahomes is playing week 1 of the NFL season. Now, we talked about this earlier in the week, so we don't have to rehash the entire conversation. But the Chiefs are going to play on Monday Night Football in week 1. They're playing on Sunday Night Football in week 2. ESPN pays almost $3 billion for the rights for the National Football League. NBC pays $1.7 billion for the right to broadcast NFL games. I did the math before the show today. NBC spends somewhere between $120 million to $130 million every single game to broadcast the NFL. You think they're taking a chance in week 2 with Justin Fields when they could very easily get the Chiefs later in the season where there is much more of a certainty on whether or not Patrick Mahomes is going to play? So we don't have to rehash the entire take. You guys know where I stand on this, but I will not spend our summer having conversations about whether or not Patrick Mahomes is coming back, because ESPN is taking a significant gamble that he is going to participate in week 1. NBC is taking a significant gamble that he is going to play in week 1. The National Football League is taking a significant gamble that Patrick Mahomes is going to be there in game 1. So you know what? I'm going to be on their side of the argument that Patrick Mahomes is going to participate in the early portion of the season. So you should at least go into the summer with optimism that Patrick Mahomes is going to play. There was a time where I think there was a shred of uncertainty. There was a cloud around it. In my opinion, that cloud has been lifted now that we saw the schedule. I thought if it was looking shaky, if it was looking dicey that Pat was going to be back, that they would put the Arizona Cardinals week 1 for the Chiefs. They were going to kind of ease the Chiefs into it and then load up the second half of the schedule. That is not the way that at least the schedule leaks would appear. They got out the gates. Monday Night Football against a team in your division, Sunday Night Football the next week. So I'm talking about you're playing on a primetime audience where we know the NFL cares about television ratings. They are not throwing Justin Fields out there, in my opinion. So that is number one. Number two, now we'll talk more in depth about this as the show continues. I completely understand if you don't like when the Chiefs play on a holiday. That it's a religious holiday, it's a time for your family, you just want to sit back, you want to relax, you don't want to have to go to the stadium. I completely understand all that. I like when the Chiefs play on a holiday. I mean, I already plan on watching the games. It's a cool time to have that bonding time with your family and sit back and watch it. But I understand if you don't like when the Chiefs play on a holiday. Now, I will caution you when it comes to one thing. You cheer for a nationally prominent team. And the NFL has made it a point that they want to dominate these holidays. They now want to take over Christmas. They've always taken over Thanksgiving, and they are trying to expand their footprint when it comes to Thanksgiving. You got to work some holidays if you play in the National Football League. You got to work some holidays if you work out at the stadium. That is what you have signed up for if you are choosing to be a part of the Chiefs organization in some capacity. I don't know if in terms of the way the schedule breaks down, if you can be that mad if you're a Chiefs fan. They play a road night Thanksgiving game that should not interfere with Thanksgiving dinner. Have your dinner at your 1, your 2, maybe your 3 o'clock. You don't have to worry about getting ready and going out to the stadium and spending your time in the parking lot at Arrowhead. It would appear to be a night game on the road in Buffalo, and we know the number is going to be massive. The Chiefs are not playing an international game, so you don't got to worry about waking up. They're not playing in Spain. You're not losing a home game because the Chiefs have given that home game away to another city. And they don't play on Christmas Day. So you got no Christmas, no holiday home game. You got no international game. I don't know if you can really be that upset about the way that the schedule has broken down for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's pretty favorable. I think it is pretty fair. I think for a team that is clearly one of the bigger draws in the National Football League, I don't know if you can be mad. You got a warm Monday Night Football game. You got important games late in the season that are going to be nationally televised. You don't have to be at Arrowhead on any holiday, and they're not playing in Spain or Australia or Mexico City or any of those games with extensive travel. I think the Chiefs came out pretty well if you were talking about schedule roulette and who has to go where. Now, this is the part where I will caution you with the schedule, and I understand why we do it. I understand why we look at the schedule and we see these grouping of teams and the way that they're put together, and you start to get worried and you start to get fearful. And there is a stretch where if you are playing the on-paper game, it's a pretty difficult stretch for Kansas City. I mean, you go on the road to Buffalo. You go on the road to Cincinnati. You play New England. I mean, it's a difficult stretch there on the road to play the Rams. I mean, they have a stretch there in November where they play 3 straight road games, and then they follow it up with a Monday Night Football game at Arrowhead against the New England Patriots. So I certainly get it. I get why you would be worried about it. I get why you would look at that as being that murderer's row of games. I would just like to give you a little bit of information of what we know about the league. This is not my opinion about the league. These are stats and facts that we know about the National Football League. If you look at the history of the league, there have been 7 consecutive years where a team that's selected in the top 5 made the playoffs the following season. So some of these teams that we think are going to be terrible or were terrible last year are going to be good this season because that's how the National Football League works. You can go from being the New England Patriots, you then fire your head coach, you hire Mike Vrabel. Next thing you know, you look up and you are in the Super Bowl. Something like that will happen this year. Now, you have to guess and try to predict who it's going to be, but Tennessee will be much better than you thought they were going to be. The Giants will end up winning their division. Maybe the Raiders end up winning 8 games this year. Who knows? But one of those dregs from the league from last year are going to be good this season, and you can never pinpoint who it is. on average, about 5 to 7 new teams make the playoffs every single year. So a team that was good last year, Kansas City a couple of years ago, that everybody is hell-bent that team is going to make the postseason. Fast forward the next year, and they miss it. Rob, you remember last year we did the topic where if I gave you $1 million for every team that you bet in a parlay to make the playoffs, and if you missed any one of those teams, you would automatically be eliminated from the parlay. Remember how everybody put Kansas City in that parlay? Well, you would have lost your bet. So there are no certainties. There are no guarantees. There is no team in the league that you can say you are 100% certain is going to make the playoffs. Now, you might have a strong inclination about somebody. I feel pretty good about Buffalo heading into the season, given what they've done the last few years, given their division. I feel really good about Seattle going into the year. But again, you cannot be certain about anybody. Also, the most important thing to note, injuries. You have no idea who's going to be healthy and who's not going to be healthy. 62 different starting quarterbacks happened last year. So you go into a game thinking you're going to go up against Patrick Mahomes. Next thing you know, it's Gardner Minshew. Oh, no, it's not. He's injured. Now it's Chris Oladokun. And it radically changes the result of the game. So all I'm going to say is just breathe easy when it comes to the schedule. I get it. You're going to look at the schedule. It's fair. It's unfair. It's too difficult. They got an easy schedule. We got a tough schedule. The same commentary I had yesterday about let's not get worried with who's hosting game one and who's going on the road in game one, because somebody has to go on the road and somebody has to stay at home. The schedule usually evens out. There's going to be some teams that are good that are going to end up being bad. There's some teams that you think are going to be bad this season that will wake up and it'll be week 8 and you'll think, that team's a lot better than I thought they were going to be. So let's just let the NFL season play itself out. But I really do feel for the schedule, at least with the information we have now, I don't know how mad you can be about the schedule. I really don't know how mad you could be. The Chiefs open up this season at home. It's always great to get a Monday night, Sunday night football when the weather is going to be great. That's going to be an amazing tailgate day. You get a tailgate day on a Monday, take off 3-day weekend, and it's a Broncos game and the return of Patrick Mahomes. That's a great ticket to have. They don't play at home on Thanksgiving. They don't play at home on Christmas. They don't play an international game. This is a good schedule breakdown for the Kansas City Chiefs. And trust me, do not worry about that month of games. 2 of those teams will not end up being good because that's just the way that the NFL breaks down. We are going to be joined by Andy Reid coming up in an hour. Tell a friend that the head coach of the Chiefs is going to be on the show. We'll continue our Chiefs conversation, getting you ready for the total and complete schedule. Keep it right here, so drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
The wild weather this spring has brought hail to New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. What that means is they've got plenty of new and used cars and trucks with light cosmetic hail damage. New Century is having a hail of a sale to clear them all out. You can save as much as $15,000 and still receive all the factory incentives. The hail of a sale will not last long at New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Remember, you always pay less in Paola. See dealer for details.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. How long have you been stuck with the same phone plan? 2 years? 5? 10? Are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills? Switch to Red Pocket Mobile. With Red Pocket Mobile, premium 5G plans start at just $10 a month. Pick a plan, lock in your rate, and that's the number you'll see on your bill every month. No hidden fees and no long-term contracts. And here's the kicker. Red Pocket lets you choose from 3 major 5G networks, not just one. Pick the network that actually works where you live and where you work. Try one, and if you like it, keep it. If not, switch to another. Never be stuck with a single network again. Plus, keep your phone, keep your number. Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
New customers can switch and save 50%. Choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price and no contracts at redpocket.com. Redpocket.com.
I'm Anna Garcia, host of True Crime News, the podcast. Every week, we bring you in-depth coverage on cases making headlines, as well as those that go under the radar. Tune in for murders that defy explanation, mysteries seeking exploration, and shocking secrets that will leave you breathless. Each week, we honor the victims by going beyond the salacious in our search for justice. Crime never stops, and neither do we. Listen to True Crime News, available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale is back for its 5th year on Wednesday, June 10th, with 100% of the money raised going to the Negro League Baseball Museum.
Last time out, we raised over $15,000 to benefit the NLBM, and this year, we're looking to set a new garage sale record.
Auction items will be available on 965thefan.com, but only live one day, Wednesday, June 10th, with items starting at $9.65.
And I'm thinking, you know what? Your missing glasses will make the auction list. Join us for the 5th annual Cody and Gold Garage Sale, benefiting the Negro League's Baseball Museum, Wednesday, June 10th, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, do they know for sure if the Chiefs are going to play on Christmas or not? We actually do know the answer to this. The Christmas schedule has been released. On Christmas Eve, it will be Texans at Eagles. On Christmas Day, there will be a triple header. Packers at Bears, Broncos at Bills, Rams at Seahawks. That is the Christmas Day triple header. So we have a normal Thursday night football game. Christmas is on a Friday this year. So we have a normal Thursday night football game. That's the Texans and the Eagles. Then we have a Christmas Day triple header, 3 games. Packers, Bears, Bills, Broncos, Rams, and Seahawks. So, yes, we know the Chiefs will not be playing on Christmas this year. And that's why I said I don't know how mad you can be as a Chiefs fan. They are not disrupting your Thanksgiving. You can still eat dinner at your normal time. You don't got to worry about going out to the stadium. You don't have an international game this year. They don't have a Christmas home game. I feel like the schedule for a team as prominent as Kansas City, this is a favorable schedule. Now, I'm not saying that the Rams have taken the Chiefs' place. But Rob, you want to know the team that really got the short end of the stick and has to work on all of these days? It's the Rams. Think about it. The Rams have the opening game in Australia. They have the Thanksgiving Eve game. They also play on Christmas. The Rams are the team that has to do all of these things that the league is asking. They have an international game. They play the Australia game. Yeah, the Rams are the one that's being flown around everywhere. Them in San Francisco. Those are the 2 teams that have to do the heavy lifting this year.
Do the Rams have 2 international games?
I think they might play that game in Mexico City. I think it might be San Francisco. One of those 2 teams.
I know one of those teams,
in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was either the Niners or the Rams are 1-2 in travel miles this year in the air. So the league is, you remember that year that Mitch Holthus had the stat, and I don't remember the stat, where the Chiefs had the more games in the shortest window of anyone in league history. It was like they had the Saturday, then they had the Wednesday, then they turned around. The Rams are going to be that team. You're going to hear out of LA that they had the, shortest rest time of any team in the NFL this upcoming season. That's the narrative that's going to come out of SoFi later this year. I can already feel it coming.
So coming up in about an hour, we are going to be joined by Andy Reid, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is going to join us on the show. I want to play this for you guys in case you missed it. Adam Schefter was on ESPN today. He believes that Mahomes is going to be ready by week 1.
Chiefs have said he is, quote-unquote, way ahead of schedule. You would never bet against Patrick Mahomes, and the NFL certainly hasn't. The league has scheduled the Chiefs for the opening Monday night game of the year. The league doesn't do that unless they think that there's a realistic chance that Patrick Mahomes is going to be back. And I think the feeling is right now, you have to see how the knee is progressing during the course of the summer. But the feeling right now within the organization is that he is tracking to be ready for that Monday night game against Bo Nix, who's coming off his own surgeries on his ankle, and the Denver Broncos in Kansas City.
So that was Adam Schefter on ESPN talking about Mahomes. I believe that Patrick Mahomes will be ready by week 1. Everything that Adam Schefter is saying makes all the sense in the world to me. ESPN has taken a significant financial investment in Mahomes' health. NBC has also made a significant financial investment. These are not companies that I think are randomly guessing when it comes to these things, especially when there is nothing stopping you from just putting the Chiefs later in the season on Monday Night Football or putting them on Sunday Night Football. The fact that they are front-loading it when it comes to these nationally televised games really tells me everything that I need to know about how the league feels regarding Patrick Mahomes' health and whether or not he will be on the field or so. I do want to get to the Royals here coming up in a bit, but let's just wrap up this football conversation. Damian Woody was also on ESPN. Here he is talking about the Chiefs in the run game.
There's not a better time for that to happen than now because your quarterback is coming off of ACL. I think part of the reason that Patrick Mahomes got this injury is so many times he's put on his cape to try to save the Kansas City Chiefs, and now you're in this predicament as a Chiefs fan.
So that was Damian Woody talking about the Chiefs and them prioritizing the run game this year. We'll talk to Coach Reid about it here coming up in just a bit. But, Rob, we don't have to dive all the way into the deep end when it comes to the football conversation, but I'll just go ahead and throw this out there now, and trust me, we'll get back to it. We'll circle back. Do you feel different about the Kenneth Walker deal now that you see what these other running back contracts look like? Breece Hall's contract is off the board now. Breece Hall makes more money than Kenneth Walker. Devon Achane just recently signed a deal with the Miami Dolphins. He makes substantially more money than what Kenneth Walker is going to make. Do you feel different now about the Kenneth Walker deal when you have seen how the market has come together for other running backs?
No, I don't. Now, part of that is because Kenneth Walker is now not by light years, but he is older than both those players. So you are investing a ton of money in an older running back. And I subscribe to the Therese Paylor theory, which is there's only so many hits on running back's body. Now, like I said, he's like a year or two older than those guys respectively. It's not like he's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years older. So I don't want to make it seem like he's decrepit comparatively. But that number was higher based on his age. But I always knew the running back market, that's how free agency works. Once one player gets something, the market's set, everyone falls in line and then gets more money than him. The same way that, in hindsight's 2020, the Texans gave Deshaun Watson more money than Patrick Mahomes because he got his deal second. And then, more guaranteed money went to player blank. It just all filtered in afterwards. I still feel the same way about the Kenneth Walker contract. I feel like it's still an overreaction and an overpay, but I do think that I'm starting to ease a little bit because you're starting to see more and more running back contracts push him down the list.
You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Frank Caliendo is going to be on the show coming up in about 20 minutes. Andy Reid is going to be on the show in about 45 minutes. So we got a lot planned here within the next hour on the show. I want to play this for you guys. This is Seth Lugo, and Seth Lugo, he seems mad.
I think we need to, me personally, need to just be a little more conscious of, if I execute a pitch, then be willing to race the challenge, instead of worrying about getting it wrong and losing one for the hitters. So I think that'd be beneficial.
Are you going to be more, you want to challenge more yourself personally? I know you guys as pitchers have stayed away from that. It's the early part of the season.
I mean, the top part of the zone, it's pretty hard to tell. I knew in the first thing I got at least a couple of them right in my mind, and then I went back and looked and they were all right. So after that, I was challenging them. I knew they were there. I did one, but Diaz got credit for it. But I was ready to go after that. So I think just getting better about how we're playing the game, the different rules and how much of a difference that makes. I mean, for years you get one off the plate and it's not there, but batter can't do nothing. So if they're going to get us, then we got to get them. So we just got to really be more strategic with how we use it and make sure that we know what we're doing out there.
Do you like that it's in the game?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can think about just about every game I had, good or bad. I think the size of the strike zone was, a contributing factor. So, if we're going to be, more fair and, we're going to have the challenge system, and we got to use it the right way.
So that was Seth Lugo challenging the way that the Royals are using the ABS system. I hear this as a little bit of frustration just on how he has pitched his last couple of outings. He gave up 4 earned runs last week. He gave up 5 earned runs yesterday. This season, he has not certainly been at the all-star level that I think the Royals have seen over the last couple of years. If you look at the numbers and you're looking at it as a team-wise, the Royals are middle of the pack when it comes to ABS challenges. They haven't been the best at it. They haven't been the worst at it. They're doing fine. They're winning about 58% of their challenges whenever they challenge balls and strikes, whether it's the pitcher challenging it or the catcher challenging it. This, to me, feels like a little bit of misguided frustration from Seth Lugo because you didn't pitch very well yesterday and you're not having the season, and now you're looking to deflect a little bit. At least, Rob, that's how I hear the Seth Lugo comments.
What's interesting to me is, and I didn't poll last week, this is back-to-back games where he's kind of quietly called out the Royals catchers for not doing a good enough job back there. It's also worth noting in back-to-back games, he hasn't had Salvador Perez behind the plate catching. And we know, especially early in the season, Salvador Perez was nails at the ABS system. He didn't miss at all. And now Seth Lugo didn't get many good challenges last week. Carter Jensen was his catcher. And then last night, it was Diaz behind the plate, and he's complaining about the challenge system. It sounds to me like Seth Lugo has a problem with non-Salvador Perez catchers in the ABS system, and he feels like he's getting squeezed, or the 2026 version of squeezed, because his catchers don't have his back the way he would like to have them to have his back.
This just feels like deflecting to me. That's at least how I hear the comments. I hear this as deflecting. Let me ask you this. Maybe this isn't as much of a question, just as much as an observation of anything. Do you think the Royals held on to Seth Lugo and Cole Ragans for too much longer? This is the analogy I would make. If you gamble, you have been at the casino and you have gotten off to a really hot start. Let's say you walked into the casino with $200. Maybe blackjack's your game of choice. Maybe you're a baccarat guy. Maybe you're a craps guy. Whatever you like to play. Now, you started with $200. Next thing you know, you're up like $360. You're feeling good. You're up $160. You've almost doubled it. Every gambler in their mind has thought, nah, man, I ain't leaving until I get to X amount. And I'm trying to leave with $500. Next thing you know, you look up and you're looking at your bankroll, you're looking at your funds, and you probably should have walked away a little bit earlier because that was the best it was going to be. The Royals now have themselves in for another $40 million on Seth Lugo's deal at 36 and 37. Now, there's a club option when he's 38 years old. I don't know if the Royals are going to pick that up. Obviously, a long way to go. Now, the Cole Ragans deal isn't the worst deal in the world, not really costing the Royals a whole lot of money. $4.5 million right now, $7.5 million next year. If you really want to get out of the Cole Ragans deal, you can if you're the Royals, but the window to trade Cole Ragans is maybe getting smaller and smaller, certainly with what the return could be. I would also put Seth Lugo in that same conversation. Do you think the Royals held on to Seth Lugo and Cole Ragans for too long because they have certainly missed the window of cashing out and getting maximum value for both of those arms, and it looks like you have in both cases a depreciating asset?
So maybe this is me talking about both sides of my mouth. I think the answer is yes, they held on for too long. Or it appears they held on for too long. but I think the logic for holding on for both players was correct. I think this is different to me than one thing I feel like is in 2017 when the run is over, Dayton screwed up. He should have traded Hosmer. He should have traded Moose. Should have traded Kane. We all got that little nice moment at Kaufman, but they finished 81-81, so who cares? I think this one is different. I understood the logic on keeping Lugo, and I understood the logic on keeping Reagans. What has made the Royals viable recently is their starting pitching. Don't lose the starting pitching and keep stockpiling depth as a team. So I understood the logic. It just feels like their gamble hasn't paid off. Seth Lugo is not bad by any stretch, but he's not the player he was last year or 2 years ago. Cole Reagans has definitely not been the player he was in 2024, but he's battled injury, and still when he's out there, he's relatively cheap. So I do think they held on for too long, but I don't think their logic at the time was incorrect, if that makes sense.
I mean, I definitely get why the Royals had to do it. Like, the Royals' thought process was, we're going to try to build the best starting pitching that we possibly can. And it was a really, really good plan. We spent a lot of time over the last couple of years really applauding the Royals for how much depth they had when it came to starting pitching. Now, I'm not throwing everything completely out the window, but you can't feel the same way today about Cole Reagans the way that you felt a year ago at this time. You cannot feel the same way today about Seth Lugo that you felt a year ago. You don't think teams are the exact same way? And now you look at Lugo, you're invested a lot of money in Lugo, and you still got a long way to go in this deal. Now, you're not cutting him, you're not getting rid of him. But again, his value, it probably peaked as high as it was going to go, and now you're looking at a stock that is going to drop and drop and drop for the most part. Cole Reagans was looked at as maybe the best left-handed starting pitcher in the American League. You cannot feel that way today. So you had a couple of really, really valuable assets. I don't know, man. They just aren't as valuable as they used to be.
Let me ask you this now looking forward, because I know that Chris Bubic's contract is coming up sooner rather than later. Do you think the Royals should hold on to him, or should they be aggressive and move him? Because now I would say of the three pitchers in the Royals starting rotation, the Royals kept Wacha. That was a good move. Wacha has been a good pitcher even with the contract. Lugo, definitely trending toward wrong move, but jury's still out. Reagans, same way, jury is starting to come in. The next big contract for a pitcher that is due up is Chris Bubic. Should they eject and get the most value back, or stick it out with him because he's different because of his age? So I'm curious what you think the Royals should do at some point this season.
I am on the side of them paying Chris Bubic. He's 28 years old. But if they don't reach an agreement during the season, I would just imagine that Chris Bubic is not coming back next year. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, and he has been very, very good these last couple of years and making no money. So I don't know if that's going to be a decision that the Royals are going to make more so than Bubic is just going to be out there for the absolute highest bidder. I mean, he is a very productive left-handed pitcher. Those guys ain't normally cheap if you want to try to keep and you want to try to retain those guys. So I'm not sure if the Royals are going to have right of first refusal when it comes to that. If they don't reach that agreement in the season and they let Chris Bubic start talking to everybody, you'll be hitting the breaking news sounder at some point in November or December, because we'll be talking about Chris Bubic got paid by one of the bigger market clubs.
Which is why, now, maybe they get a deal done in the season like that happened last year with Seth Lugo. Remember, everyone's like, trade Lugo, breaking news sounder.
Or
Seth
Reagans,
Lugo got
one of the two.
Yeah, but if they don't get a deal done by July 31st or wherever the trade deadline is this year, they move it around now, drives me insane, then I think they should be trading Chris Bubic this year unless they are, 2-3 games back of the division. He'll be a fascinating case study because what they've done the first 3 times is retain.
Coming up in about 5 minutes or so, we're going to be joined by Frank Caliendo. He's going to be performing in Kansas City coming up this weekend. We'll catch up with the legendary comic Frank Caliendo. We'll be on the show coming up in just a little bit. Rob, let's bounce back to football here for just a bit before we're joined by Frank Caliendo. I don't know if you saw this or not, but did you see that Pro Football Focus put out their all-breakout team? So the all-breakout team, at least the headline was, that they are trying to predict the next great players at every position in the National Football League. So I'll give you an example. At quarterback, it was Cam Ward. At running back, it was Ashton Jeanty. So we're talking about guys who maybe haven't broken through yet, guys that you certainly have heard of before, and Pro Football Focus thinks that these guys are next up. Do you want to know who their number one corner was? It was Noel Williams. This is what they said. a well-kept secret in 2025, Noel Williams could swiftly become a commonplace name in 2026. Then it went through some of the numbers. He played in 458 snaps last year. They gave his grade. He ranked 15th among qualifying corners who played at least 250 snaps. That would put him in the 93rd percentile in terms of outside corners in the National Football League. There is a lot of reason, I think, to feel very optimistic about the Chiefs moving forward, where their number one corner is now Mansour Delane, and you feel like he can project to be that true number one that can really shadow guys, and then having Noel Williams on the other side. They just have such a track record of turning guys like Noel Williams into really, really productive players. That is one of their best skills as an organization. Mid-round pick, physical corner. He was in the system last year. You bring him back for year 2, and then Noel Williams is ready to hit the ground running with the Chiefs defense this year. So it makes a lot of sense to me. I get why he would be on the team. But yeah, Pro Football Focus, they put out their all breakout team, guys who look like they're ready to take that next step. And Chiefs corner Noel Williams was the number one corner on that list.
And that doesn't surprise me even a little bit. I remember last year, I don't remember at what point in the season this was, PFF had him as one of the highest graded corners, period. Like, full stop. They said when he's on the field, he is one of the best corners in the league. Now, there was a sample size conversation, and I get it. So it doesn't surprise me he's on the list. If that's the case, can someone explain to me why he didn't play more in 2025? Why he didn't get on the field as the nickel corner at all in 2025? Why they didn't at any point move him to the outside and McDuffie to the inside? Because they were taking on water all season long, and Noel Williams snaps. It's not like he played all of them. I'm betting he was at, let's say, 45, 50% of the snaps last year? If he's this can't-miss breakout candidate who was great for PFF last year, why wasn't he getting more minutes last season? I know it doesn't matter and time moves on, but it will continue to boggle my mind that none of these rookies that showed flashes got really any heavy minutes from a wasted 2025 season.
I think they were just going with what they knew in a lot of different ways. Like, I understand the question that you're asking. I think it's a very fair question, but I think the Chiefs were just stuck in there, run it back. These are the guys that we've won championships with, and they gave those guys almost every opportunity to try to fix it until they really couldn't fix it. Do you think they have any breakout candidate on offense? Is there any person? Now, there isn't. There's only one player on the Chiefs on this list. So, like, just to give you an example of the offensive players, I gave you the quarterback. The quarterback was Cam Ward. The running back was Ashton Genty. At wide receiver, it was Matthew Golden and Emeka Egbuka. At tight end, it was Harold Fannin. Offensive line, I don't really want to go through that, but that was the offense that they put on Pro Football Focus. Is there any player on the Chiefs offense that you would suggest for the Pro Football Focus all breakout team?
So it has to be a second-year guy, because that lists all second-year guys, right? So Worthy would be too old. Rice would be too old. Jalen Royals is not really more a concept than he is a player. No. So to give you a short answer, no. There is not a player on the Chiefs that qualifies for what they call a breakout 2026.
You know what? I would give you one. Now, he doesn't qualify in the second year, but if you were going by a guy who maybe isn't a household name but appears ready to take that next step, wouldn't you throw Kingsley Suamataia into that conversation at left guard? I think he has made the transition pretty adequately over to left guard. I could see him taking a next big step this year, and we're talking about Kingsley being one of the best left guards in the National Football League. Certainly with that track record of their offensive line and developing their own in-house talent, I wouldn't be stunned if that's the conversation we're having toward the end of the year.
Let me ask you this, though. Isn't the left, if you think that, wouldn't the left tackle also filter in with Josh Simmons? Because now I was picking skill position players because, let's just be honest, they're easier to identify and quantifiable for people like us. I think Simmons and Suamataia are players that could be on this list, but there are no skill position players in the Chiefs that can fit that list. Emmett Johnson's too young, and I don't think anyone else is even qualified. So, yes, I think it's only offensive linemen that can break out offensively for the Chiefs.
Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, we are going to be joined by the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid. Coming up next on the other side of the break, Frank Caliendo, the legendary comic, is going to be on the show. He has a handful of shows this weekend out at Zona Rosa and the Funny Bone. We'll catch up with Frank Caliendo next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Graduation season and Memorial Day are here. And whether you're celebrating a new grad or honoring the holiday, Smokehouse Barbecue makes it easy. Planning a big bash? We do large parties right. Host your crew in one of our private banquet rooms or let us bring the party to you with professional delivery and catering for any gathering. If you're going to fire up the grill, don't forget the sides that steal the show. Grab a pint of Smokehouse famous beans and their amazing mac and cheese as well. Visit them in Gladstone, Zona Rosa, or Independence, or at smokehousebbq.com. Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the Hai Chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
This afternoon, a slight chance of rain, then partly sunny, high 79.
Weather brought to you by Capital One. Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank guide. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Very happy right now to be joined by legendary comedian Frank Caliendo. He will be at Zona Rosa at the Funny Bone. He has a show on Friday. He has 2 shows on Saturday. Let's start with this. I assume a lot of sports fans have heard you before. You do a great Charles Barkley, do a great John Madden, you do a great John Gruden. What's different from your impersonations that you've done on Interview and then coming to see you do an hour-long stand-up?
Well, I mean, some of it's what I work into the shows. I mean, I make observations on people. That's kind of the way I do stuff. So if you're referring back to like stuff on Fox, the NFL on Fox, or even the ESPN stuff I've done in the past, I mean, those were sketches. That's more being in character the whole time. What I do is kind of go in and out and set things up. The difference probably here in sports radio and your show and being on stage is I don't know who's going to be a big sports fan or as much of a sports fan when they're in the like at the Funny Bone in the audience.
Right now, we're talking to Frank Caliendo, a legendary comic. He is going to be at the Funny Bone on Friday and Saturday. Frank, I imagine you're constantly working on your craft. You're constantly working to perfect it. How long did it take you to realize, hey, I've got this Gruden thing down? Because you got some great impressions. I think your two best impressions are John Madden and John Gruden. How long does it take you to refine it to where you feel like you are ready to present it to the masses?
Well, I mean, I started doing it years and years ago. It probably took 6 months to get it to a point where it was really good. I don't know. I would just do it on the radio and try it, and then I could always get bailed out by a radio host. So, I mean, you listen to me doing John Madden in the very beginning, and it's like, hey, folks, John Madden here. And I go, that doesn't sound like what he sounded like at all, but people thought it was amazing because, the real Madden voice was that deeper voice, this kind of voice. And so I kind of get paid to practice. So I put it out there, see how people react, and then it just gets better and better and better. That's kind of the process, and people let you know if they're good or not. And some of them are more cartoony, and some of them are more right on the money. But whatever gets the laugh, because I'm going for the laugh more than the exact accuracy of what the person sounds like most of the time.
Are you currently working on any new impressions?
Yeah, there's always. I mean, Billy Bob Thornton's been so big. I don't know what the rev up is to him. Like if I'm going to do Tony Romo, I rev up the Tony Romo bill. Jimmy John's, Jim. Here we go, Jim. You know that whole thing. Like a Jeff Goldblum. Ooh, yes, of course. Why? You have words that get into it. Billy Bob. I saw him talking about how he says my kids like I sound like Hank Hill, and that's where I've kind of found the rhythm of it from. Each person has like it's almost like they're playing a musical instrument with their voice, and what are the notes, what are the length of the notes, and what is the pitch.
Right now, we're talking to Frank Caliendo. Catch him this weekend at the Funny Bone. He'll be there Friday for a show. He also has 2 shows on Saturday. Frank, there have been a voice that you have tried, and you just haven't been able to nail it to your own standard.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. That's the thing is, like I said, if you've never heard me do it, I probably can't. But I'm trying to think of somebody off the, right off the. I mean, there are some that I can do that are just quick and that are quick hits, and I can't do a long version of. I'm trying to think if there's somebody in sports. I'd love to be able to do a Joe Buck and a Troy Aikman. I mean, those are 2 that I've never been able to pull off. That would be fun to be able to do those guys together. I have a somewhat passable Jim Nance. But the reason I do that bit where I was like with Tony Romo, like, here we go, Jim, Tony. And the reason with Nance I just say Tony is because I can't talk for a very long period with him. So Nance would be one, and I would make it more the golf Nance voice that would go with it that I think would be a lot of fun to have in the arsenal and be able to go to it anytime. And those guys actually do me on TV during Chiefs games, and which seems like they're always doing the game, because there's a player, of course, named Mike Caliendo, he's from the same area as me, but we're not related directly, at least. But Nance will say something, Mike Caliendo looking like Frank Caliendo on that one. Oh, Jim, here we go, Jim. And then they'll be like, here we go, Jim, Tony. So Nance and Romo actually do my bit during the game sometimes. But there are plenty of voices that I can't get on the money. So
you've got to be in some incredible rooms. Have you ever been starstruck before?
Yeah. I mean, I've been in a couple rooms where I couldn't believe I wasn't asked to leave. Doing the Tonight Show and some of the late night shows, it was crazy. I was on the same show as Tom Cruise, I said his name 3 times, and it was like Candyman. He appeared behind me, and he's like, "You are a very funny man." I was like, "My goodness, I'm just having a conversation with Tom Cruise out of nowhere." So those were pretty cool moments. Being on a show with Scarlett Johansson and Halle Berry, I mean, those were crazy situations where you're like, I never thought I would be in the same place as some of these other people. So those are a few that come off the top of my head. Sports wise, just hanging out a little bit with J.J. Watt and some Drew Brees is another one. Those are pretty cool people to be around, and it's always exciting when they know who you are. That's really the cool thing to me is if my kids are around, that's the best. When somebody famous that my kids really like, when they know who I am, probably the best one ever was Josh Brolin, who used me for the movie W to get his George W. Bush part of the roll down. I got to meet him at a Comic-Con convention. My daughter, I brought her there, and we're kind of behind the scenes. And I have the same agency as Josh Brolin, and they said, you can go meet him now. One problem is he's with Chris Evans. I'm like, well, I'll deal with it. Captain America's there. We're okay. So I'm talking to Brolin, and Chris Evans is like, what are you guys talking about? I'm like, Brolin's like, he helped me with a role. He's like, what role? I'm like, Thanos. He's like, wait a second, who are you? I go, Frank Caliendo. And Chris Evans goes, oh my God, do some John Madden.
I'll get you out of here with this last thing. You have to be a major sports fan with as much as you're around it, with all the variations of the impressions that you do. What was your first sports heartbreak? Like, what was the team you thought was going to win the championship, a player you believed in, and you got let down? What's your first sports heartbreak?
Man, you're tough with these questions. These are questions I've never heard from anybody. That's what makes them good and tough questions, because these are questions I'd love to think about a little bit more. I'll tell you one because I know this person pretty well, Russell Wilson. I'll tell you one that's etched in my brain because I was at the Super Bowl where he threw the interception on the goal line when it probably should have gone to beast mode there. So that's one. That's not my first one, but that's a big one that's etched in my mind of holy cow, something huge just happened, and this is somebody I kind of know. So that is a big one right there.
That is Frank Caliendo joining us on the show today. Go see him this weekend. He will be at the Funny Bone on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday. YouTube him, look him up. He does legendary impersonations. Frank, it's an honor to get a chance to talk to you. Good luck this weekend. Enjoy Kansas City.
Hey, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That's Frank Caliendo joining us on the show. I mean, I can tell you right now what my 3 heartbreaks are, Rob. You want to go through them? Number 1, Norfolk State.
I'll say, which 3 Missouri ones are coming?
Number 1, Norfolk State. Number 2, the SEC championship game against Auburn in 2014. Number 3, I know they have resumed the rivalry. This is 2.0 of the rivalry. They had a 19-point lead in the second half at Allen Fieldhouse, and they lost the game. I'll never get over it. Never. I'll never get over it. That's a game they should have won. The no call at the end of regulation, the foul call that puts Tyshawn Taylor on the free throw line, Michael Dixon not knowing how much time is on the clock. The fact, Rob, if you remember, Marcus Denman makes the shot. If Denman gets the ball earlier, maybe Missouri wins on a last-second shot at Allen Fieldhouse. Didn't happen. Those are my 3. Norfolk, Auburn, and Kansas. Those are the losses. I'll also throw another one in there for my Missouri sports fans that know. Back in 2008, Missouri had a home night game against Oklahoma State where Chase Daniel wore the gold jersey for Aaron O'Neal. That one tore me up when I was in college. Absolutely devastated they lost that game.
You're not the first Mizzou fan I know to mention that Oklahoma State game. Why? Didn't Mizzou finish like 8-4 that year in football? Why is that Oklahoma State one always so front of mind for Mizzou fans? I mean, it's deep cut, but you are not the first Missouri fan I know that said, oh man, 08, Oklahoma State came to town Saturday night and they beat Missouri and it just broke my heart. What was it about that game that sticks with you guys so much?
Missouri was ranked 4th in the country, and they just laid an egg at home. It was just devastating, bro. It's just absolutely devastating, bro. That's That's what it is, man. Just devastating. I don't know how else to explain it. That's just the best word that I have. All right, coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, Andy Reid is going to be on the show. So in true Drive fashion, we have to talk about running backs before Andy Reid is on the show. Ooh, I can't wait for this topic, Rob. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was just at Staples. They're having a huge 40th anniversary sale.
40 years. Note to self, send flowers.
Up to 50% off. Save on chairs, paper, balloons, and more.
Balloons?
Yeah, Party City is now at Staples.
Surprise!
But the anniversary sale is only 2 weeks, so...
Quick, celebrate 40 years of savings at Staples with up to 50% off. Shop chairs, paper, break room supplies, and more. 2 weeks only in 523.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is on Wednesday, June 10th on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we are expected to be joined by the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is going to be on the show coming up at 3:15. Rob, before we talk running backs, we're going to talk about one thing you really do like and then one thing you don't like at all. One of my really good friends, Micah, shout out to him. He asked me a question earlier today. He said, hey, Carrington, what's going on with sporting? Number one, I was offended that he even thought I would know what he was talking about because I have absolutely no clue what was going on. I just sent him a bunch of question marks. Like I was trying to figure out what happened. Maybe they got contracted. Maybe they got to move or something. He was like, no, they're not playing. I was like, whoa, I was worried for a second. I did not know this. The only thing I know about Sporting Kansas City, I'm not even trying to be funny. The only thing I know about Sporting this year was they just played Portland and they got beat 6-0, which is like getting beat 96-0 in a football game. Rob, so I will come to you. What's going on with Sporting Kansas City for my friend Micah?
First off, I'm absolutely howling back here at the idea that someone texted you about that. It's like,
I was stunned. He literally, I can show you the text, like, what's going on with Sporting? What? I have no clue. I was trying to figure out if their owner was caught up in some scandal. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, why are you asking me this? Why do you assume I know this?
That's like how the France team just dropped their roster for the World Cup. I should have come to you and been like, what do you think? What are we thinking about the roster? Walk me through it. Long story short, man, they've overhauled the roster. They just fired their GM. They have a new coach. They're in a rebuild, but the rebuild is going.
They trash. That's everything you're saying right there. Just seems like a lot of words to be like, oh, they trash.
Yeah, new ownership, new GM, new coach. What do you think happens when those things come to fruition?
I didn't know. They still got our guy on the team, Jake Davis?
They do. He's one of the few players that.
Okay.
I think he's the only player you could name.
Yeah, they got Graham Zusi. No. I don't know anybody else on the team. I couldn't tell you a single other Kansas City player.
They have 2 wins this year.
How many games have they played?
They've beaten LA Galaxy twice. They started in early March. It's May. So, yeah, it's bad.
Oh, goodness. They giving tickets away out of Sporting.
They were, up until last night's win, they were literally last place in the league. So, there's your breakdown.
My bad. All right. Okay.
Times are tough.
All right. You know what? I wanted to give him an update on Sporting Kansas City. I don't want anybody to say that we never talk about soccer on this show. We're up to date with soccer on this show. That is your Sporting Kansas City update, probably until... When's the next time you think we'll have a Sporting Kansas City
2027.
Update? Okay. All right. We can have Jake Davis on the show. I don't have no problems with that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the soccer, though. We're going to talk about his life.
Yeah. He plays soccer? I'm just trying to figure out what he does for a living now. All right. Let's talk about this. Rob, have you ever heard the saying about the squeaky wheel getting the grease or how closed mouths don't get fed? Have you ever heard one of those euphemisms before? Well, let me tell you that back in 2023, it was actually July 23rd of 2023, the running backs had a Zoom meeting. And basically, any running back that was good, that was in the league at this time, had a Zoom meeting. And if you remember, this is when the running backs were very unhappy about their contracts. Now, I know we're all going to play this hindsight is 2020 game, but I was here in 2023, and I remember the sentiment was, don't pay him, don't pay him. Just draft a running back in the 7th round. They're a dime a dozen. You can just always find a running back. I remember this was what the public was saying. Quit crying, quit complaining, get back to work. Well, let me tell you, Rob, did you know that since that Zoom meeting, there have been 9 running backs that have made at least $40 million contracts? One of them would be Kenneth Walker, who just got $43 million guaranteed. What if I told you that since that Zoom meeting, we have seen a shift, not just in team philosophy toward the position, but also fan feelings toward the position? That now I think we have shifted in the other direction. Now, I'm not saying that people are saying the running back should be the highest paid player on your team, but I think we are at the point now where when Jahmyr Gibbs is up, you are not letting Jahmyr Gibbs walk in free agency. When Bijan Robinson is up in free agency, you are not advocating to let Bijan Robinson go play for another team. You want to pay him. I just did guys who have gotten $40 million deals. I didn't even count guys who got $30 million deals. A guy like Christian McCaffrey, who just signed a 2-year extension at $30 each that ends up obviously making a substantial amount of money. You have seen a shift in 3 years at the value of running backs. Running backs matter again. Now, Rob, I know you're going to come on here and talk about how you want every team to spend a 6th-round pick and you want everybody to be Olandis Gary from back in the day. But I am telling you that the NFL does not share your feelings anymore, not when it comes to the position. Not when there's 9 running backs that are making over $40 million. Not when there are 15 running backs in the league that are making $30 million or more. Half of the teams have told you we are investing in the running back position or are about to invest in the position, like Detroit, Atlanta, teams like that.
I would say what has happened with running back is market correction. Because there was a time before when people like me did not run the world. There was a time, 2022, we all said, at least people in my camp, don't pay him, don't pay him, don't pay him, don't pay him, don't pay him. Do you know what happened before that camp started to arise? People were paying running backs, and it was a disaster. Todd Gurley really comes to mind. That Todd Gurley contract is one of the worst contracts ever doled out by an NFL team. He basically got paid by the Rams, and his football career ended like 5 minutes later. It was abysmal. So things like that in the league were happening, and then people came into my camp, which is don't pay, don't pay, don't pay. You know what happened? The NFL overcorrected. They went from one extreme, which is give Todd Gurley that amount of money, which is just lunacy. They then pivoted to we're going to give that amount of money to no one. And now we've seen a market correction where I actually think most running backs that have earned a second deal are getting paid relatively fair market value. But these things come in ebbs and flows. It might be Jeremiah Love in 4 years, 5 years. It might be a running back who's in this upcoming draft class. Someone is going to get overpaid at running back, and then the pendulum will reshift. But this just seems like regular market correction to me.
Yeah, but I guess I would just argue, wasn't that just, a little bit poor luck of the draw? Because you're right, that definitely happened. Ezekiel Elliott got paid, the contract didn't work. Todd Gurley got paid, it didn't work. But I feel like we only tell the stories of when deals don't work. San Francisco does not make the Super Bowl if they don't make the trade to go get Christian McCaffrey. But they broke 2 of your rules. They traded a first-round pick for a running back, and they also absorbed a contract from a guy, and they made the Super Bowl because of it.
But the Panthers contract was first.
Yeah, for sure.
And that contract did not work. Now, partly his body broke down, but the Panthers felt like his best football was behind him. So Christian McCaffrey is a little bit of an example of both columns because Carolina is probably the
last 10 years or so. The wide receiver franchise tag, pass rusher, corner, all of these other positions, I think have really reaped the benefit of more money being poured into the league. Running back is one of those positions that has not seen a growth in relation to the way the salary cap has. It's about to change. It's about to change. If the highest paid running back used to be at $35 million and it's soon about to be at $70 million, you have now doubled up the market and what it is. Now, I would guess, because a lot of these things go in a cycle, I'm guessing in about 4 years, there's going to be a couple of these running backs that get hurt, and then we'll be in the same cycle of a conversation. Well, how can you pay X running back? How can you pay Jeremiah Love because this guy didn't end up working out? That's just always going to be the motion when it comes to those deals. But you can't deny there's a line in the sand, and the line in the sand is on July 23rd, where running backs felt extremely undervalued, and the sentiment from the public was never pay them, run them into the ground. You can always find a new one. Fast forward 3 years later, and half of the starting running backs in the league make about $30 million over the life of their contract. I would say, just based on other positions, they're not going to be the highest paid. They're not going to be one of the 5 highest paid in the positions. I now think that running back contracts have gotten fair.
I agree they've gotten fair. But before we act like, oh, man, running backs are getting paid, Rob's an idiot, it is worth noting their franchise tag is still the lowest of all the skill position players on offense. wide receivers make more than them, quarterbacks make more than them. There is a market correction that has happened, but the market still views running backs the way I do, which is largely expendable. And the ones that aren't, you give $60 million to. No one's breaking off 100 for a running back anytime soon.
Coming up on the other side, we are expected to be joined by the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is scheduled to call in coming up in just a bit. Don't turn that dial. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I hope you are sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower cost than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult,
flooring and fixtures. Get it all delivered. Flooring and fixtures. Get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. Staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcast.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300 $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Pool days call for cookouts and lots of laundry. This Memorial Day at Lowe's, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances to keep dishes, clothes, and food fresh. Having fun in the sun is easy with us in your corner. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit swlinjurylaw.com.
635 both directions, heavy approaching the state line. Downtown, 35 northbound, slows coming up from Penway onto 670 eastbound with an accident reporting on that transition. 71 northbound, heavy into downtown from 22nd Street. And then 70 eastbound, off again, on again, heavy from the Blue Ridge cutoff out to Noland with construction. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
We are expecting the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, to call in at any minute. When he's on the line, we will certainly go to him. Let's wrap up a running back conversation in the meantime. So I was talking about, well, Devon Achane is now the highest paid running back in the National Football League. He got the bag earlier today. And if you remember, there was a Zoom meeting back in July of 2023, where running backs were unhappy with their compensation. Since then, we have seen 9 running backs get a deal of $40 million or higher. 15 of them have got a deal of $30 million or more. Someone on the text line makes the point, and I 100% agree. C-Dot, what I think has happened is top running backs are now being paid like third-string wide receivers, money well spent. I absolutely think that's what happened. I think what happened with teams as they started to see the wide receiver market really start to balloon is we can spend this money on wide receiver 3 on our team, or we can spend this money to get the best running back that is available. Which one do we think better serves our team? For example, which contract would you rather have? For example, somebody like Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker makes around $14 million a year. Would you rather have Kenneth Walker or have Mike Evans or Khalil Shakir? I'd rather have Kenneth Walker then if that's the case. So I think a lot of teams like Kansas City, I think they started looking at it. Is it better for us to have Khalil Shakir on our team and just load up in the passing game that way? Or would we rather go have a guy like Kenneth Walker who's going to touch the ball 250 times? And that is the direction that they've gone. So I think that's a really good observation, and I 100% agree. We are expected to, at any minute, be joined by the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is going to call into the show, and I believe that Andy Reid is here. Let's go into the phone lines right now and be joined by the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid called into the show. Coach, happy to have you on the show today.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely, Coach. I got to start with this. You have done a lot of great, tremendous things in your career. You know, one day you're going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You won the Super Bowl. You've won Coach of the Year. You are now officially friend of the show. This is your 3rd time coming on the show. Where does this rank in terms of your accomplishments?
Hey, every day is a great day that I have a chance to talk to you. So it's my honor.
So, Coach, happy to have you on. Why don't we start here? There's been a lot of conversation regarding your quarterback, regarding Patrick Mahomes, and the phrase has been used that he is ahead of schedule. As a head coach, when you hear that, what does ahead of schedule mean to you?
You know what? That's a phenomenal question that you're asking because I don't know who made the schedule. Everybody's so different. And so when I kind of hear that, I go, well, today he's doing great, and he's done better every day that he's been in this thing, and that's one of the primary things that you look at. You want to make sure they're making positive progress moving forward every day and not taking steps back and definitely not re-injuring himself. So so we've done a good job of that. He's done a great job of it. He spends 7 hours in this building busting his tail every day, and our physical therapist, Julie, does a nice job of challenging him, and he wants more. So he's doing good. But I imagine if there was a schedule, he'd be ahead of it, but I don't know what that schedule is.
When you're tracking his growth and you're tracking his development, are you keeping more of an eye on how physically he's doing or how mentally he is doing and just trusting his need to do all the things that he can do?
Yeah, well, he's so stinking positive that, I mean, he thinks he can do anything. Yeah, I mean, that's just how he rolls and how he's wired. So I don't, he feels like he's going to be ready to go and let's go play. I mean, that's his mentality. The reality is we got doctors that are evaluating him, and our training staff, Rick Burkholder and his crew, do a great job. They're evaluating him. He's got to make sure that he gets himself in a position where, he can get out of the way of things and doesn't have any restrictions to his mobility, and that's what he's working on.
Last Patrick question, and we'll talk about the running back additions that you guys have made. What's the balance that you have in preparing him for the season, but also not throwing too much on his plate to allow his body to heal naturally?
Yeah, well, he can throw the ball and do his thing with that. So he can stay up on all the plays that we run in phase 2. There's no offense versus defense or any of that. So that part's that's no problem. And he can keep his timing up with the receivers. But we'll see how it goes once you get an offensive defensive line in the mix. So that would be a training camp question. We'll just see where he's at.
Right now, we're talking to the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is joining us on the show today. Coach, you guys have a change at offensive coordinator. How excited are you to have Eric Bieniemy back in the building?
Yeah, it's great to have him back in here. He's a good guy. He brings great energy, great leader of men, loves to coach, and I think he's great for the players and to feel that energy.
Coach, you guys have had other changes when it comes to the coaching staff. What is it like working with a group that has had the amount of turnover that you guys have had over the last couple of months?
Yeah, listen, it's been fun. We've got Chad O'Shea, who's been doing this for 24 years. He's been in this offense. He's worked with EB before, worked with Brad Childress when Brad was the head coach, and so he understands the offense. He's coached some great receivers and been with some great teams and understands all that. And he's a nice addition. So it's DeMarco Murray. He's doing our running backs now. DeMarco played in the league for a number of years, was an all-pro player, great player, and with the Dallas Cowboys. And we've welcomed him aboard. Eric Bieniemy actually recruited him when he was in high school, so they've known each other a while, and to add him into the mix here is, I think, a real positive for our guys. He's smart, he's a good communicator, and he's been there and done that. So it's great to have him as part of this thing.
Coach, as somebody who has gone through this, you've gone through this in multiple positions. How do you balance where you bring these new coaches in and kind of having them do it your way? You have a system. Your system has been very successful as you've been a head coach, but also allowing them the freedom to do things their own way.
Yeah, Carrington, you've heard me say this before. I want the players to let their personalities show. I want the coach to do the same thing. At the same time, we do have a way that we do things, and there's certain things I want your contributions. But at the same time, there's certain things that we do, that we just do. And so, and these guys are all wired to where they understand that, and that ends up being important.
Right now, we're talking to the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, for a few more minutes here, getting his thoughts as we are in the middle of the Chiefs offseason. I want to ask you a question really quickly about Rashee Rice. Have you talked to him about the importance of the next 9 months for him? He's had a little bit of an up and down last 18 months. We don't have to get into all the details, but he's coming into this season healthy. There's no cloud of suspension that is hanging over him. This is also a contract year for him. Have you guys had conversations about how important this season is for him?
Yeah, well, you don't have to do too much talk on that. I mean, he knows. Nobody knows better than the player in those situations, and so it's important, though, that he just keeps showing up and doing his thing. And so he's been doing that. He's been here the whole off season. And he's a great player. It's just a matter of making sure everything's taken care of and he can keep himself on the field.
Coach, you have a lot of confidence in this wide receiver room. What are your expectations for this room heading into the year?
Yeah, we've Xavier's another year older. He's healthy. He dislocated that shoulder early there, and his ankle was messed up. So he's back and cranking there. And Thornton, we were able to re-sign him, which I thought was a big get. Royals is a year older and strong and healthy. So that's a nice nucleus of guys. And then we've got a bunch of numbers there. We picked up Allen in the draft from Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati. We like him, and so on and so. We've got people there returning, and that we feel we have a real good feeling about, and most of all, that Patrick has a good feeling about. And so I think we're okay as long as everybody's out there and going. That's a good thing.
This question isn't directly specific, I guess, for one person because multiple people fit this, players on the offense and players on the defense. I had a former NFL player tell me that when you look at a player's growth, the biggest jump they're going to take is from year 1 to year 2. As a coach, what growth are you looking for in a guy like Josh Simmons, in a guy like Jalen Royals to be bigger contributors to the team?
Yeah, sure. Well, the main thing, again, with Simmons was just staying healthy and staying on the field. And I'd say he had a pretty good rookie year there. He did a nice job at that left tackle spot, and he'll take another step up from there. Just having been there and done it, and I think he has the confidence that he can compete against most guys in this league, and he definitely has that skill set for sure. He's a talented kid. Royals is strong. I mean, he's out here doing our off-season program, and he's a strong kid. Catches, his hands are strong, his core strength is strong. A lot like Reid that way, where he's put together with that great core strength area, and so he's a smart kid. So that's those are all things I think that'll benefit him in his second year here.
Coach, one thing I've learned about football people is they are very routine, very regimented. What was it like to not have work in January?
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a longer off season for sure than we've had, but at the same time, I think it's been good. I think we've handled it right. We've been working as a staff, trying to fix some of the things that we thought needed fixed. I think Brett Veach had time to kind of go through things, and he got the coaches involved, and not that he doesn't always, but he's had more time to do that. And so I think it's been good for everybody, and we'll see how everything works out. I thought the draft went well. I think that was a product of all of us having the time being here, and then the fact that we didn't win as many games as we wanted. We had some higher picks, or at least we're in line for some higher picks, and that benefits you likewise.
What are you doing in January? Are you spending time with the family, or are you instantly back in the lab trying to figure out what's wrong, and you're ready to start 2026 right then and there?
Oh, you're right back in. It doesn't slow down. So we jump back in and start our scheme evaluations, and then we're able to go through a bunch of the different players that we kind of break the day in half. So scheme eval, our self-scout stuff in the morning, and then after we do lunch, and then after lunch we do personnel. So whether we were zooming guys or bringing guys in, evaluating them, going to the combine, doing all those things that you do in preparation for the draft and free agency, you're jumping right in and going.
Coach, I got one more football question here, and then I'll ask you some questions about you. How important was it to add to the running back room when you factor in Patrick's injury and kind of easing him back into it the first month or so of the season?
Yeah, I thought just in general, I thought we could put together some guys. We had some free agents. I mean, the guys that were here had done a nice job, whether it's Pacheco or Kareem. I mean, we had guys that were good football players, but we were able to bring in Kenneth Walker, and I mean, you're talking about the MVP of the Super Bowl. You're talking about a guy that had a phenomenal year with Seattle, and he's a guy that loves to play the game and is talented, and football is very, very important to him.
Right now, we're talking. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then at the same time, we were able to pick up DeMarcado from Arizona, and then a couple draft picks, and that's that's also important. Whether it's Smith returning, who had been draft pick the year before, or Johnson coming in, Emmett Johnson coming in from Nebraska as a draft pick this year, and so I think we've got a good nucleus of guys there.
Right now, we're talking to the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, for a couple of more minutes here. Coach, I got a couple personal questions to get you out of here. We have a pretty major event coming to Kansas City this summer. You're a soccer guy. You're going to be at the current game on Friday. Do you plan on going to any of the games in the World Cup?
I'll probably be out of town. We finish our OTAs right before that starts, and normally I leave for a couple weeks there. And so I probably won't go to those, but I think it's a phenomenal event that's coming to Kansas City. Kansas City loves soccer, and you're bringing the world to them. I mean, that to me is a beautiful thing, and I would imagine that this place will be sold out and rocking. And if it's not, probably shame on us. So I think it's a great venue for people to come watch a soccer game there. I had a chance to watch Messi and his team play our local team here, and I don't know, last year I think it was, or maybe the year before, and it was in Arrowhead, and I just thought, I'm going, what a venue, man. I mean, for soccer, these guys, they play their tail off. It was exciting, great site formed to watch. Every seat's available for your sight lines, and it's for great sight lines, and I just think it'll be great, and it'll be great. And then we'll welcome people in from other countries. So how great is that? I mean, just think if you're coming from one of the South American teams or wherever you're coming from, England, and you have an opportunity to eat a little barbecue. I mean, does it get any better than that, right?
No, it doesn't get any better than that. It's funny you mentioned barbecue. That leads me into another question here. There's going to be a lot of people coming into Kansas City as tourists, as visitors, and maybe they'll never come back. What 3 restaurants would you tell a tourist they have to go to? I'll give you some time to think. I'll give you my 3. I have Gates, Garozzo's, and Stock Hill. I think that is a good array of great, phenomenal local restaurants that will give you the entire feel of what it's like to be a Kansas City resident. Those are my 3. What are the 3 you would suggest to an out-of-towner?
Yeah, well, those are all good. I mean, I don't think you can narrow it down to 3. I mean, there hasn't been a barbecue place. I mean, there hasn't been a barbecue place that I've been to here that I haven't liked. So I like to pick from all of them. I think they all have their specialties, and they're phenomenal. And so the people coming in here, they don't have to narrow it down to 3. I mean, they can just go for it. I would tell you, Garozzo, not a bad Italian restaurant, though, right there. Now you're taking me out of the barbecue world into Garozzo's. Mike is a friend and does a heck of a job with cooking it up. So it's but if you're coming to Kansas City, that barbecue is sure enticing. I mean, that's what we're kind of known for there.
Coach, 2 final things here. First thing is, give us your official 1587 Prime review.
You know what? I thought it was great. The chef that they hired there, I got to meet before. He worked up at a place close to training camp there, and worked for a friend of mine, Steve Craig, and so at the country club. So he put on a feed for me one time that was phenomenal. I go, and then he tells me, hey, you know what? Your tight end and quarterback just hired me down at 1587. I'm going, how lucky are they, man? I mean, this guy does a phenomenal job cooking up the food, and then you have the whole venue there that I think is the atmosphere is just comforting, I would say. So here you get great food, you get a little entertainment. I'm not a drinker, but I'm sure all that part's good too. But you don't even need that. You put a good steak down, and that to me is something special. So, but he does a great job.
I'll get you out of here with this last thing. The social event of maybe our lifetime is happening this summer. Have you received your invitation to Travis's and Taylor's wedding?
Well, I probably have. I probably have, and and if I don't outgrow my tuxedo before then, I'm going. But you keep talking about this barbecue, I might have to go get some.
Coach, for this thing, you got to get a brand new tuxedo. You got to get something you've never worn before for this one.
I'm not the show. I'm just going to show up. Those guys, I'm so happy for them. When you really come down to it, doesn't matter how big the show is around them. They're in love, and that's the most important thing.
That is the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Coach Andy Reid, joining us on the show today. He is a future Hall of Famer, multiple-time Super Bowl champion, and he is now officially friend of the show. Coach, it's always great to have you on the show today. Really appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your summer.
All right, be safe, and thank you.
Absolutely. That is the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Coach Andy Reid, joining us on the show today. We'll react on the other side. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in prizes this mid-year's Eve. Saturday, June 6th. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold hard cash at midnight. And leading up to the big finale, we are calling names to win $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn entries all throughout May and June. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the car crash kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Brought to you by New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. You'll always pay less in Paola. 635 heavy at the state line. Northbound coming up from K5. Southbound very slow from the split with Fairfax Traffic Way. Spring hail means big savings at New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. Save up to $15,000 on hail damaged new and used vehicles plus all factory incentives. But this hail of a sale won't last long. New Century Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. You'll always pay less in Paola. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
We want to say thanks again to head coach Andy Reid joining us on the show today. Always an honor to get a chance to talk to a future Hall of Fame head coach. Rob, I feel really good that we can now officially put Andy Reid into the friend of the show category. You know, he's been on the fringe for quite some time, but now that we can put him from the possible maybe column to now a certified friend of the show, that's a really big deal for us. So salute to the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, for joining us on the show. Rob, we got a lot of time to talk about the football things that he had to say, and I'm sure we will get to it. But let's talk about the most important question that I asked. Rob, I'm imagining you got people coming in for the World Cup, and the World Cup thing is way more your thing than my thing. You planned on going to another city to watch the United States. It's not enough that they disappoint you at home. You want them to disappoint you on the road. If somebody is coming into town, they're going to be here for 3 to 5 days for the World Cup. They're not from here, but they want to get a taste of real local Kansas City, and they want the real authentic Kansas City experience. You can only nominate 3 restaurants to these individuals. You heard my 3: Gates, Garozzo's, and Stock Hill. Now, there's a lot of phenomenal barbecue restaurants in this city. You're not getting the Jack Stack. They got tablecloths. No, that's not what barbecue in Kansas City is like. And I love Jack Stack. Phenomenal. I think the cheesy corn's the best side in the city. But Gates, Garozzo's, just an amazing place to eat. The shrimp spadini, the chicken spadini. It's a small, intimate restaurant. Everybody in Kansas City is eating at Garozzo's at least one time in your life. Mike, phenomenal guy. Now, I've only been to Stock Hill one time, and I went during restaurant week. I was blown away by how nice Stock Hill was. Blown away by it. I loved it. Moved very high on my list for if you're in the mood for a steak and you're looking for a local place to go get a steak, you can't go wrong with Stock Hill. Those are my 3: Gates, Garozzo's, and Stock Hill. Text line 913-586-7965. We'll get to the football part of it. We got a lot of time. Give me your 3 restaurants you would tell somebody in town for the World Cup. They're in for 3 to 5 days. Where would you tell them to eat?
Well, I think you and Coach are both right about 2 to 3. I don't think you can go wrong with a barbecue answer. If you're telling people Gates, that's a good answer. If you're telling people Jack Stack, if you're telling people Joe's, I don't think there's a wrong barbecue answer. So I'm going to have a placeholder, barbecue. Pick a place.
You got to tell them one place, though. Here you go. You out here trying to dance out of it.
I'll go Joe's.
Okay, that's fine. If you're telling them Joe's, you go to Joe's.
Also, I also try to do this on 3 different.
The line for Joe's is just so ridiculous. You know how crazy that line going to be during the World Cup?
It's crazy. But I also think the experience of eating at a gas station is one that you have to, like.
No, Joe's is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong.
You have to go to get
it. I think it's important to note. There's only one location for Joe's. I know there's multiple. I know there's other ones. You're not telling a tourist to go eat at all other ones. You're telling the tourist to go eat at the one location, and that line can be crazy. Because whenever I've had people come in from out of town, one of the reasons that we don't go to Joe's on our barbecue journey is
the line.
It's a crazy line where I can just go to Jack Stack that's probably 10 minutes away from that Joe's location. We can sit down immediately. We can go to Gates and we can get our food almost. Whenever it's busy in the city, that Joe's line is crazy.
It ain't gonna get better with the World Cup either. So if you're a Joe's fan, actually, you know what I would tell locals? Go to the non-gas station.
No, I can't be doing that. I can't tell people that. I can't tell people to do that. I can't. You only in Kansas City. Some of the people coming in for the World Cup, this is their one and only Kansas City trip. I can't tell you to go to the Ole the Joe's location. I don't care if it's the same food or not. It ain't the same experience.
I also think you are 1,000% correct. You should tell them to go to Garozzo's. I think that's the best Italian we have to offer in town.
I think it's just one of the nicest restaurants in the city.
There's other really good Italian in town. Like I like Anthony's. Like there's a lot of good ones, but Garozzo's is ours. When you go in there, there's a wall of Kansas City celebrities who have eaten there.
For sure.
It's not like going to another place. This place is very unique. So I'll go to that one. God, and now, what's my top of the line? Stock Hill's a really good answer. I think 1587, I think, has the allure for outsiders more than insiders. Golden Ox is a good spot, although I've only haven't been there in a long time. I think you have to pick a steakhouse. I would say 1587 for the allure of it's Mahomes and Kelsey who are synonymous with this town.
I could see you saying something like Graham and Dunn or one of those kind of places.
I don't have Plaza right now on my list, so maybe get the people to the Plaza because then I have my downtown check, I have my midtown check, or whatever you want to call where Joe's is, and then you have your Plaza check. That's probably the three if I had to guess.
A lot of people throwing Lydia's into the conversation.
Lydia's is a good answer.
Lydia's definitely deserves to be
Freight House,
in the
good
conversation
spot.
as well. Somebody said my list would be Smokehouse, LC's, and Joe's. I normally tell people coming to Kansas City for the first time, there's a big four, go to two. I tell them you got to go to two out of the big four. Gates, Joe's, Jack Stack, Bryant's. You are not going to go to all four while you're here.
You don't have Q39 in your big four.
No, it's too new. It's too new. It's not a blue blood. The same way that you don't consider UConn to be a blue blood.
They're not.
Why do you not consider UConn to be a blue blood, even though they got more national championships than Kansas?
Johnny
you wanna
come
know why?
lately.
That's what Q39 is. That's what Q39 is UConn to you. Then I'm not saying Q39 is not good. It's phenomenal food. We got great barbecue. One of the reasons our barbecue is so good that whatever place, like if you made your own power ranking, the place that you got 7th or 8th on the list, you could put in just about any city in America and it would be their best barbecue. Like Buck Tooie, phenomenal. Slaps barbecue, amazing. There's a lot of really good barbecue. I just had Big T's a couple of weeks ago. Had the sandwich from Big T's. Phenomenal sandwich from Big T's. I'm just saying it's deep. It's stacked.
I will say this. There's a lot of people on the text line suggesting things. When you suggest, do you say Kansas City proper or do you get outside? Like
area, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not, I'm Missouri through and through. But for the World Cup, at least for those 30 days, we all on the same team, man. We got to put on our best foot forward. We can go back to hating each other when all the tourists leave.
Yeah, they leave.
But while the tourist is here, hey, Kansas, you are my brother. We got to come together. We got to do this right.
Because like someone on the text line says, hey, I love Marina 27. I don't know how I would suggest it, but I do like a Marina 27.
Yeah, I'm not telling you if you're not from the city, I'm not telling you go to Marina 27.
In the summer on the lake though, that'd be cool vibes.
100%. I'm just saying with gas being $4.29 a gallon, I'm not telling you to drive out there.
You don't think it's going up between now and the World Cup?
For sure. $5.32 a gallon.
But
y'all talking about the ticket prices. Worried about them gas prices. I'm worried about.
By the way, I was wrong. 1587 comes off my list. Majestic goes on my list. I had forgotten the Majestic. You get Jazz, which is Kansas City vibes. Great steakhouse. Little off the beaten path, and then afterwards you can walk across the street for the Quaff and have a good time. I'm going to take 1587 off my list. Too touristy, and I'm going to tell people to go to the Majestic.
Okay. All right. So what's your big three?
Majestic, Joe's, Garozzo's.
Majestic, Joe's, Garozzo's.
You also get 3 different price points there too.
No, for sure. I've never eaten at Majestic before. I think
it's right in the corner from your house.
I think
How's
I had
that
a drink
possible?
there one time, but
you could literally throw a tennis ball from your apartment and hit the Majestic. How have I been there and you haven't?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That'd be like, hey Rob, you know on 135th and Metcalf, there's this spot. And I'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've never been. No, I've never been. Rob, do you want me to read this top text that we have? Do you think this is a real text or do you think this is like a joke? Have you seen it?
I just now saw it's got to be a joke. There's no way that's real.
Let's read it. You texted in the show. You have given us permission to read it. Hey, I'm 28 years old. My wife of less than 1 year. Turns out she's a legit psychopath, and she is divorcing me for no reason at all. Is that crazy? Do you think this person is serious and really wants our advice, or do you think this person just wanted us to read their text? Because I'll answer their text if they really want me to, but I'm wondering if this is just a joke.
I think I don't think it's a joke. I just think they want us to read their text.
Okay.
Or I don't know what's going on 98.1 right now. It could be wild over there.
What is Scott and Dana talking about?
We get some of their texts sometime. That happens. It does definitely happen.
Can you imagine asking that question to Sam? Like, why are you asking Sam this question? What's going on here? All right, let's get back focused. I'm sorry. I had to read that. It caught me off guard. The whole text line was Ocean Prime, Lydia's. Then it was, I need marital help. It caught me off guard. I'm sorry. I was not prepared for it. All right, Rob, on the other side, let's talk a little bit more about Rashee Rice and the next 9 months of his life. We'll do that next. Keep it right here, Sir Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Grandview 49, both directions, heavy approaching Harry S. Truman, southbound from Longview Road, northbound slow coming up from 140th Street, heading into downtown, 71 northbound, pretty heavy from 22nd Street, 70 eastbound off Okanagan, slowdowns from Prospect all the way to 470. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from the Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Brought to you by the Kansas City Wynn Nelson Trade Show next Friday, May 22nd at the Boulevard Drive-In. Contractors ready to simplify installs and take on bigger jobs? See Champion HVAC at the Wynn Nelson Trade Show Friday, May 22nd at the Boulevard Drive-In. From residential systems to rooftop units, Champion delivers. Meet the team, see the equipment, and find solutions that work. Food, giveaways, and 30-plus vendors.
Official partner of Major League Baseball is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLERS. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack. Jack had a home he needed to sell fast. And Jack thought he had it all figured out. So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers. Jack chose the highest offer. But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out, leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do. Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer. Jack got suckered. Make sure you aren't hung out to dry. Call our dad at Rex Buys KC. Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals. No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises. Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process. Now, don't be like Jack. Call 816-330-6000
or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Comedy Bang Bang, the ground beefing tour at Uptown Theater, June 8th.
Join host Scott Aukerman along with Paulette Tompkins and the Comedy Bang Bang All-Stars as they perform a totally improvised version of the award-winning podcast.
Come see us. It would be our greatest wish to see you in person.
Comedy Bang Bang Ground Beefing Tour, June 8th, Uptown Theater. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
The 5th annual Cody and Gold Garage Sale is back Wednesday, June 10th, with all auction items benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, so let's update you on everything that has happened so far as we are halfway through with the show. I want to say a special thanks again to Andy Reid for coming on the show. We have talked a lot about the schedule. At this point, we know every game but 4. I'll go through those here just in a bit so you can be updated on what we know right now with the Chiefs, and we are waiting for the rest of the schedule to fill itself in. Very important to note, Adam Schefter was on ESPN earlier today. He believes that Patrick Mahomes is going to play week 1 of the NFL season.
Chiefs have said he is, quote-unquote, way ahead of schedule. You would never bet against Patrick Mahomes, and the NFL certainly hasn't. The league has scheduled the Chiefs for the opening Monday night game of the year. The league doesn't do that unless they think that there's a realistic chance that Patrick Mahomes is going to be back. And I think the feeling is right now, you have to see how the knee is progressing during the course of the summer. But the feeling right now within the organization is that he is tracking to be ready for that Monday night game against Bo Nix, who's coming off his own surgeries on his ankle, and the Denver Broncos in Kansas City.
All right, so it's going to be a lot of reading, but follow me just for a little bit. I promise you we'll move on from this. I'm going to give you every game that we know right now with the Chiefs schedule. These have all been confirmed. These are not me guessing. Week 1, Chiefs against Broncos, Monday Night Football. Week 2, Chiefs and Colts, Sunday Night Football. We do not know week 3. Week 4, Chiefs at Raiders, 3:25 kick. Week 5, we don't know. Week 6, Chiefs and Chargers, 3:25 game. Week 7, Chiefs go on the road to take on the Seattle Seahawks. That game will be on Sunday Night Football. Week 8, the Chiefs will go on the road and play the Denver Broncos. Week 9, Chiefs and Jets. That is at Arrowhead. We don't know week 10. Week 11, Chiefs play the Arizona Cardinals at home. Now, I don't know week 10. This will be a little bit of commentary. I don't know if you could ask for a lighter schedule, at least on paper, than what it thinks that 3-week stretch could be. We don't know their bye week, but I'm going to guess that their bye week is probably week 10. Just going to guess. I don't know. Just going to guess. Does that make sense to you, Rob? If we're going by that, and they have not announced what their game is on week 10, we know their bye week is not going to be week 3. We know it's not going to be week 5. I'm thinking the Chiefs bye week is week 10. They got a stretch where they got the Jets, bye, and Cardinals. I don't care what happens with those two teams. You got those two teams at the crib. You need to figure out a way to win those games. Now, this is the portion I think most people would deem to be the difficult part of the Chiefs schedule. Chiefs at Bills on Thanksgiving night. Chiefs at Rams, Thursday Night Football. Chiefs at Bengals, 3:25. So the Chiefs have 3 straight road games late in the season. Home Monday Night Football against the New England Patriots in Week 15. Home game against the San Francisco 49ers in Week 16. They will play the Raiders in Kansas City to close out the season in Week 18. So we don't know weeks 3, 5, 10, and 17. Again, this is a pure guess on my part that the Chiefs bye week is going to be Week 10. We know it's not going to be Week 3. We know that. What are we doing here? It's not going to be that. Rob, before we get to the Rashee Rice, is there anything that stands out to you? Is there anything that jumps out to you as we go through the Chiefs schedule with what we know right now, what's been confirmed?
I mean, on paper, it's a difficult end, but I also tell you on paper, last year you would have said, man, the end of the season is going to be cake for the Chiefs. They got at Titans. They got, the Broncos at home on Christmas, a nice at Titans, which is just basically not football. And then at Raiders, man, the Chiefs could have this thing wrapped up nicely and basically have a couple bye weeks leading into the playoffs. And it did not play out that way. The Chiefs lost all those games. So right now, on paper, the end of the season looks like a brutal stretch when you're in the playoff push, but you never know what you never know. But again, on paper, the end looks a lot tougher than years past.
So we talked a lot about the schedule. We'll get back to the schedule here coming up in a little bit. I'll start this question now. Text line 913-586-7965. Do you guys like when the Chiefs play on holidays? Yes or no? We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. The Chiefs do play on Thanksgiving. They do not play on Christmas this year. We already have the Christmas schedule. The Chiefs are not a part of the Christmas schedule. We'll get to that coming up in a little bit. Do you like when the Chiefs play on holidays? Yes or no? Let's talk about our interview a little bit with Andy Reid. We asked him about Rashee Rice, and here's what he had to say about the Chiefs' number one wide receiver.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do too much talk on that. I mean, he knows. Nobody knows better than the player in those situations, and so it's important, though, that he just keeps showing up and doing his thing, and so he's been doing that. He's been here the whole off season, and he's a great player. It's just a matter of making sure everything's taken care of and he can keep himself on the field.
I don't think that this is hyperbole. I do not feel like this is underselling it in any way. This is a life-changing stretch of time in Rashee Rice's life. He has no suspension cloud hanging over his head. He is now 18 months removed from his ACL injury, so should be healthy. So no off-the-field issues that we know about. No injury concern that we know about heading into a contract year. Now, I understand Rashee Rice has done some things in the past that would scare off certain teams from wanting to pay him. But we also all watch and all follow the National Football League. And for every team that won't sign you, there is a team that will sign you. So when I talk about this being a life-changing stretch in Rashee Rice's life, we are not talking about him making a couple dollars here or there. We are talking about this is the difference in you making potentially tens of millions of dollars by you just having a great 2026, showing everybody your ability, staying out of trouble, and showing people that you are changed. Again, I think we're talking about tens of millions of dollars. We see what it's like to sign a Juwan Jennings contract, who just got 1 year, $8 million, and what it's like to even sign a wide receiver 2 kind of deal. To even be paid like Jalen Waddle, what we're talking about. You get paid like Jalen Waddle, it's $100 million. We're talking about there is a $95 million difference between Juwan Jennings and what Jalen Waddle got paid. Now, I think that Jalen Waddle's a better wide receiver, no question. But we agree that Juwan Jennings is not an $8 million player. He's probably somewhere in that $40 to $50 million range. But you rub people the wrong way. You don't put up numbers. People deem you to be a tough person to be around, a tough person to deal with, and you have just lit money on fire. I really don't think you can undersell how important this season is for Rashee Rice and how important simply putting it together for just 9 or 10 months, how much that can mean to the course of your life. We're talking about you signing a deal that potentially gets you $40 million guaranteed or signing a deal that could get you $8 to $12 million guaranteed. That's what I think is on the line for Rashee Rice, Rob.
I agree, but I'm wondering if NFL people are, no matter what happens this year, going to have a level of pause and wait with Rashee Rice. Because we've seen teams in the league say, prove it again. That's basically what happened to Juwan Jennings. Now, it's on the field. There are a lot of other reasons for it, but it is not abnormal in the NFL to have a team say, wow, you had some off-the-field issues, you had some injury issues, you balled out in 1 year, you're going to get 3 for 65, which is not wide receiver 1 money, but or 2 for 70. Prove it again. Prove you can do it one more time, and then that mega contract is coming at 27, 28 as opposed to 25, 26. That happens sometimes in the league, and I'm wondering if just 1 year of clean behavior and 1 year of clean bill of health and 1 year of good football is enough to undo the stigma that surrounds Rashee Rice with everything else that has happened in his NFL career.
I understand the point that you are making, and this is not me disagreeing. But I would present to the court Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley had one good year and got paid. He had one good year. He was in Atlanta. He had 90 catches for 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. Next thing we know, the bag got dropped off for Calvin Ridley. What if that's Rashee Rice? What if Rashee Rice puts up that kind of season? 90 catches, 100 and whatever, and he ends up signing. Calvin Ridley got 4 years, $92 million. You're telling me that you think Calvin Ridley is that much better of a wide receiver than Rashee Rice if Rashee Rice is healthy, if Rashee Rice is motivated, if Rashee Rice is focused this year, if he stays out of trouble, if he keeps his nose clean, all the sayings that you want to have. Calvin Ridley got $50 million guaranteed. Rob, at 30, he got $50 million guaranteed to play wide receiver. So I hear everything you are saying. And I think what you were saying is certainly the logical thing. But we know these NFL teams, if they think you can play football, are not always logical.
You say that as a good example for your point. May I offer this piece of evidence to the court? George Pickens. George Pickens has had 1 year where it's not noisy.
And he just got the franchise tag, though.
True. A 1 year of franchise tag is way different than getting the bag. Now,
you're right. Now, but 1 year on the franchise tag is $27 million, and you still got time to get a deal done. I hear what you're saying. Let's see if in a couple of weeks we don't get a ticking line on the bottom line, and we see that George Pickens just got one of the 5 highest paid contracts. But if you're telling me that the worst case scenario for Rashee Rice is the Chiefs franchise tag, I'm talking about for Rashee, not for the team, for Rashee Rice, and he gets a guaranteed $27 million, something tells me his account could really, really use it. I'm just based off what we know he's had to pay off, and I don't even know that man's finances like that. But with the legal trouble that he's gotten himself into, and he ain't out here hiring He's not hiring no Rudy Poo lawyer. He's hiring guys that can get you off felonies. He signed a 4-year, $6.4 million deal. There's no way he hasn't blown by a large portion of that money. There's no chance. I seen his girlfriend. I know she ain't cheap. She got that new AP watch already. Don't even come out till next week. So I'm telling you, if Rashee Rice, if he can just put it together, stay out of trouble. What did Hulk Hogan say? Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. That's all you got to do. Read your Bible. If you can do that for 10 months, you lock in a guaranteed bag, generational wealth that can take care of you and everybody. Or you can keep being Rashee Rice. You can keep being Rashee Rice, and sure, somebody will pay you next year, but you'll be on a 1-year, $10 million deal. That would be the evidence that I would present to Rashee Rice. They're much more conversation. Like, I do agree with Coach Reid. Now, he's not going to tell us everything, but he is right. Rashee Rice got an agent. His agent needs to be telling him, because 3% of $8 million and 3% of $96 million are two radically different numbers. Your actions are messing up my money, and we can't have that. That's the message I'd be giving Rashee Rice if I was his agent. We'll keep talking football. The schedule is leaking out. Right now, the Chiefs are scheduled to play on Thanksgiving night. They are not going to play on Christmas. Do you like when the Chiefs play on holidays? We'll talk about it next. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends over at Gates Barbecue. I just ate at Gates Barbecue on Sunday evening, and let me tell you, oh my goodness, it was delicious. I went to the one over there on Main Street, over by Liberty Memorial. I got the little wing pack. I got 5 wings. I got me a little bit of fries with it, too. I also got the burnt E-Mac. I'm telling you, trust me, listen to me. The next time you go to Gates, please make sure you get that burnt E-Mac. It is very high on my list of best side dish in the city when we're talking about barbecue. You can get this at any one of the Area 5 locations, and they got so much more than that. If you got a sweet tooth, you want some dessert, you can get the cherry pie at every location. You can get the yammer pie as well. I put Rob onto the yammer pie. He was eating pumpkin pie his whole life. You know what? Not anymore. Now he's eating some of the yammer pie. I also want to tell you guys, with Memorial Day right around the corner, go stop by any one of the area locations. You can pick up a party tray. You got people coming over. You can pick up some supplies. If you're going to barbecue on your own, you're going to throw something on the grill, pick up some of that Classic Gate sauce, pick up some of that Classic Gate seasoning. You can also get some seasoning for your salads, so you can still have some of that Gates taste, even if you're trying to eat a little different and you're trying to eat green. Whatever it is, I'm telling you, Gates Barbecue has you taken care of. So it doesn't matter if it's on the website, doesn't matter if it's at your local grocery store, or if you stop in store. Whatever you do, make sure it includes Gates Barbecue.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber, connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
635 both directions, heavy approaching the state line. 670 westbound on the transition to I-70 westbound. Pretty heavy on that ramp with construction. 70 eastbound out of downtown slows around Prospect, heavy to 23rd. Then off again on again, slowdowns out to 470. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, so we're asking this poll question, 913-586-7965. It's an unofficial poll. Do you like when the Chiefs play on holidays? So the Chiefs play on Thanksgiving this year. It's actually the 20-year anniversary. The Chiefs were the first third night game. The Chiefs played the Broncos that day. I was actually at that game. That might be one of the last few cold weather games that I've been to. But 20 years ago, the Chiefs played the Broncos. So it was always Cowboys host and Lions host. And then the NFL opened up the window. The Chiefs played in that game. 20 years later, they are back playing in the Thanksgiving night game. And what is always just a really good, really competitive, really close game, Chiefs and Bills. The Bills are hosting in their brand new stadium. This is year one of their stadium. I'm guessing that's going to be a massive ticket for the Buffalo Bills fans. So I understand that some of you don't like when they play on holidays, and we'll go through the reasons. I like when they play on holidays, and these are my reasoning why. Number one, I don't really watch a lot of football game with my family. I watch a lot of football games with my friends, but I don't really watch a lot of football games with my family. So on Thanksgiving, when it's just a very different time, it's a very different atmosphere than Sunday, and the Chiefs play at 3:25, and I'm watching Red Zone that leads into the Chiefs game. It's just a different football experience. But it was really cool last year to be able to watch the Thanksgiving game and the Chiefs were playing. My mother recently moved to Austin, so she came back. So I'm there. It's my mom, my sister. We're eating, and it was just a really, really cool experience. I liked that they played on Thanksgiving last year. Another reason why I like when they play on Thanksgiving. I never want the Chiefs to play Sunday at noon. My absolute favorite television window is Sunday at noon. Now, I understand the importance of standalone games, and who doesn't love a good 3:25 or a really good Sunday night football game and Monday night. All of those time slots are great. But I love NFL Red Zone. I do. I love it. You got food, you got brunch, you got 8 games going at one time. The witching hour then takes over, and it's just going around. It's just football adrenaline. We're going to this place, and then this place, and then this place. And I love Red Zone. It's the favorite part of my entire week. So anytime the Chiefs don't interfere with the Red Zone time, and they'll play on Thursday or early morning international or Sunday, I love it. I never want them to play Sunday at noon. So I can live with quite literally any time that they play other than Sunday at noon. That's the one time I just don't want the Chiefs to be on during that time. I also think it's an honor to play on Thanksgiving. Now, this is where I think it's a big difference. The NFL has branded Thanksgiving our entire life. They've branded Thanksgiving. That's their day. You don't watch movies on Thanksgiving. You don't watch basketball on Thanksgiving. There's no baseball to watch. You don't watch college football on that day. As a country, we come together to watch the National Football League. It is a major reason of why football is so popular in America and why the Cowboys are so popular. Everybody is off work, and there is one thing that we all do, that we all look forward to. We plan our day and our meal around this activity. So, in my opinion, it is an honor to be asked to play on Thanksgiving. They're not just putting anybody on Thanksgiving, especially now where it is obvious they are trying to obliterate ratings numbers. They're not trying to just do good ratings. They're going to do that anyway. What else are you doing during this time? They are trying to put up some of the biggest numbers in modern television. And for the NFL to think that you are a part of that, to me, is an honor. I don't think NFL fans see Christmas that way. I think that I think that basketball fans see Christmas that way. It's a big deal for your team to play on Christmas in the NBA. And it has been passed down as a torch. The best teams and the best players and the biggest rivalries, they play on Christmas. The biggest storylines in the NBA play on Christmas Day. So I think teams and organizations and fan bases, we look forward to it if you like the NBA on Christmas. I think that, at least from my understanding and from what I'm seeing on the text line, and tell me if I'm wrong, 913-586-7965, I think football fans see Christmas Day football as unnecessary. Now, I think some of it is just marketing and time. Thanksgiving football has been marketed to us our entire life, and Christmas is new for the most part when it comes to the NFL, that now they have made it a point. They don't care what day Christmas is on. They now see Christmas as part of the television package. They have 3 games on Christmas. They have as many games on Christmas as they have now on Thanksgiving. They have a Christmas Eve game the same way that they had before Thanksgiving. They view those 2 days as equal. Well, it takes time to build that up. They've been having the Cowboys and Lions play each other on Thanksgiving our entire life. This Christmas thing is a 2-3 year thing. I think it's going to take some time for NFL fans to kind of wrap their minds around, and maybe football fans will just always dislike it. I don't like it, but I also like the NBA. Some of you don't like the NBA. So I'd much rather watch the NBA on Christmas Day. I'll keep an eye on the NFL games, but for the most part, I'm watching basketball on those days. I like when the Chiefs play on the holidays, especially Thanksgiving. I really do. I think it is an honor to be included on the Thanksgiving days. I think it is such a part of our American society and American culture for us to eat turkey and watch football on Thanksgiving. I don't really see Christmas that way. So I feel very different about them playing on Thanksgiving than I would about them playing on Christmas.
Let me ask you a question, and maybe eventually this is just the new world, and I'll have to get used to it. Do you think the NFL having Christmas games on Netflix affects why fans don't feel a connectivity to it? Because, yes, the Chiefs game last year was on network television because it's local. The year before that, when it was the Steelers game, it was local. But I'm just remembering my last 2 Christmases in my household, how the Chiefs games worked. It was, where they played the Steelers, they were the early game. They won. But then the broadcast went off the air because I was watching on network television. I then had to scramble to get the app up to then find the, Texans game. And it was a lot of work. And I was like, this isn't work. I don't care about Texans Ravens enough to do all that work. This year at Christmas, I don't remember what the early games were. I think it was Commanders and Cowboys.
I got the Christmas games. If I can find it real quick.
I wasn't going to seek through Netflix to get games. I basically just waiting for network television to have my games. Where when it comes to Thanksgiving, it is Fox, CBS, NBC every year. So I wonder if fans feel this lack of connectivity because you have to really do some work to find these games on Netflix unless they're in your local market.
So these are the Christmas Day games this season. Texans at Eagles, Packers at Bears, Bills at Broncos, Rams at Seahawks. So on paper, the NFL has done exactly what you're supposed to do. They got all teams that made the postseason last year, divisional matchups, good matchups, teams that they think are going to be good. But we also know how this thing works. Out of these 8 teams, all of these teams are not going to be good on Christmas Day. 5 of them might be good at the most. 3 of these teams are going to be absolute duds or playing backup quarterbacks. That's how this thing works. We can go back last year and look at the games that they had on Christmas Day. There was some injuries that happened, which makes sense. We're talking about week, 15, 16 of the NFL season. I'm sorry, you're not accurately predicting everything once we're talking about 4 months into the NFL season. So I could be wrong, text line, 913-586-7965. You guys also know I don't really go to a whole lot of games. I've been to 2 Chiefs games post-COVID. I went to both of them, oddly enough, were last year.
I was going to say, you were all over the game last year.
I went to 2 Chiefs games last year. I went to the Sunday Night Football game against the Lions, and I went to the Christmas Day game. And a big reason why I went to the Christmas Day game was the tickets were free, and they put me in a suite. I was like, I'm going to watch the game anyway. I got to watch it anyway. You know what? I'll go. I thought it was a chance it could be Travis Kelce's last game. It's been a long time since I've been in a Sweet 4 Chiefs game. Like, you know what? I'll go out there. But I completely understand. But also, I think what's very important in this is I didn't tailgate for the Christmas Day game. I was not spending my whole Christmas Day out there. So I get it. For those of you that Chiefs games, they're not just get in your car, go to the game. It's not like a Royals game. I treated the Chiefs game like a Royals game. I did all my Christmas stuff. I watched a lot of basketball. When it was time, got in the car, walked directly into the game, and walked directly out. That's not how a lot of you guys consume going to Chiefs games. It's no, we're going to be up at the crack of dawn, and we're going to spend our whole day out there until the day is over. So I could understand how on Christmas, you're just like, I don't want to do that for Christmas. No, why can't you just play on another day? I do understand that part of it.
Like I said, I think fans have a different feeling about Christmas than do Thanksgiving. I think Chiefs fans this year, with the assumption, we believe more likely than not they are not on Christmas. The Christmas schedule is out, and the Chiefs win the 21st. They're not playing the 25th. I think Chiefs fans are happy about that. I also think they're happy about Thanksgiving because I also think there's a part of this too, whether it's home or road, most people, I don't want to say all people because some people do go into work on Black Friday. Black Friday is generally speaking a holiday for corporate types the next day. So if you do stay up late with the kids on Thanksgiving night to watch the game against the Bills, there's no, oh, we got to get them up into school the next day. We got to this, that, and the other. We're like, people for work do tend to work sometimes on the 26th when it falls on a weekday, which changes the calculus. I think if you separate the two, you get two very different answers for Christmas and Thanksgiving with the Chiefs playing on holidays.
So text line 913-586-7965. We're asking the question, do you like when the Chiefs play on holidays? This year, they are playing on Thanksgiving. They will not be included on the Christmas Day slate. It looks like a lot of you are actually very happy that they are not playing on Christmas Day. Someone on the text line says, "C-Dot, my girlfriend is starting to hate the games on holiday. The Chiefs are getting me in the doghouse." A lot of people are kind of saying, it feels split. I do feel like a lot of people are on my side. Thanksgiving as a holiday and Christmas as a holiday in the NFL are two very, very different things. I really do like that the Chiefs played the Cowboys game. You're going to be watching the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving anyway. Like every single year you watch it. Oh, cool. The Chiefs are playing in this game. It was exciting. It was thrilling that they played in that game. Christmas is just very different. Now, I understand the NFL, they want to make as much money as possible, and they sold these games to Netflix. I do not think the NFL should be playing on Christmas unless it's on a regular Sunday. I just don't think that's their day. But again, I also like the NBA. So I love the fact that the Spurs are going to play the Thunder. I like the Knicks hosting at Madison Square Garden and seeing the best players in the NBA go up against each other. That's one of my favorite days of the NBA calendar, is that all the good teams and all the good players play on Christmas Day. But I understand everybody doesn't feel that way towards basketball.
Yeah. To the texter's point about the NFL trying to make all that money, now they're on Christmas Eve this year too. Is that correct? And they're on
no, not this year.
Okay, Thanksgiving Eve. Yeah. I apologize. Do you think
you're talking about the Chiefs, or you're talking about the NFL in general?
The NFL in general.
Both. They're on both this year. They're on Thanksgiving Eve and Christmas Eve and both days.
I was talking about the NFL in general, so I apologize. I think the NFL, in its pursuit to make all the money possible by playing on Thanksgiving Eve, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, does kind of cheapen that a little bit, doesn't it? Like, if you're an NFL fan around Thanksgiving, you now have 3 straight days of NFL football before you ever get to Sunday. Does that kind of ruin the allure of Thanksgiving? If you're an NFL fan and you have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, doesn't that kind of ruin the allure when it's just the NFL starts filling these games with days? It's not like one standalone big deal. Now it's like 3, 4, 5 games around these holidays.
Yeah, I don't feel that way. I feel like, if anything, they're just continuing to devalue Sunday at noon, and they're now telling you those games are optional. Like, they're telling you that, hey, you watch these games if you want to. I mean, obviously, we're putting them on television. We want you to watch them, but like they are obviously pushing people in a different direction. They're pushing you towards these standalone games. You have never seen the NFL. I think I saw a list. I might be wrong. There's 140 standalone games this year in the National Football League. 140. I can't think off the top of my head how many total NFL games there are in the course of the season. That's a significant portion of NFL games that are unblocked by anything. So I think the NFL, and we're not even counting the 325 games where we all know how this is. There'll be Chiefs and Bengals at 325. There'll only be 2 games going on, and then 95% of the country will have access to it. And there will be Cardinals Chargers that only those 2 markets get, but everybody else will get the same game. So, yeah, the NFL is pushing much more towards an exclusive window, and we want your full attention when it comes to these. So I think what we'll see is people will watch, especially if those standalone games on Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving Eve really matter. If you're telling me on Thanksgiving Eve the Packers end up being what we think they can be in the Rams, and we're talking about the 2 best teams in the NFC, absolutely we are watching it. But I think on Sunday now, if you play a lot of games Sunday at noon, the league thinks you're trash. And then the moment they think you're any good, they'll just start to move you towards the 325 game, or they'll start to flex you in to Sunday Night Football. I do want to get back to football here in a little bit. I do want to get a little bit of Royals thoughts in. We'll also replay the Andy Reid conversation if you missed it. The head coach of the Chiefs was on the show earlier today. Rob, is this what the Royals are going to be this season? Like, I feel like right now I'm having that conversation with the Royals, where it's been real up and down, and you just look at your partner and you're like, so what are we doing? Where are we going? Like, I want this relationship to be a little bit more defined than what I think the Royals have given me. The Royals did a really good job of getting themselves back in it. They really did. The Royals won 9 of 11 games. The Royals started at 8-17, and look up, they were 17-19. They were right there. Well, since that happened, the Royals are now 2-5 in their last 7 games, and they could be possibly on the verge of being swept by the Chicago White Sox. They have lost the last 2 days, 6-5. And again, they could get swept by the Chicago White Sox. Is this just how it's going to be with the Royals? Is it just going to be a season of ups and downs, back and forth? They'll win 6 out of 9, and then they'll lose 5 out of 8, and then they'll sweep a team, but then they'll lose 4 out of 6. Because for the first 45 games of the season, that has been the experience cheering for the Kansas City Royals.
I hope not, to answer your question, but I worry it is, because that's basically what last year was, Carrington. Last year was when they started bad, and then they got red hot at the end of around the draft last year. And then June hit, and they went as cold can be. And then in July, they were hot again. And then in August, they were just kind of middling. And then in September, they were not good again. And that up and down wave, roller coaster of emotions led the Royals to 82-80. Well, I know we're only 40-ish games into this year, 43, 44, whatever, but it feels a lot of the same. They had a really bad stretch in April, and then they got really hot in May, and now they're kind of in a lull, but it's just a lot of up, then down, then up, and it feels so much like 2025 all over again, which is frustrating because the belief was if they can just have less lows and just keep the highs, less peaks and valleys, the team will be better. Well, 40 games in, it's peaks and valleys again. We're all in the same spot for watching the same team.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe I just want to know where I stand with the Royals. Like, to keep the relationship analogy, I'm cool if this is just going to be a casual thing, but maybe I shouldn't be staying the night over here. Like, maybe I shouldn't have my things over here. Hey, if you just want me to come over, we'll watch some movies, we'll have a good time. I go back to my crib, you go back to your crib, and it just is what it is. That's perfectly fine. But I don't want to act like we're in a relationship if we're not in a relationship. Like, I don't want to have conversations about the Royals where we're looking at the standings and we're going through the wild card and we're convincing ourselves they got a shot if that's not really what it is with the Royals. I mean, basically for the last, I would say, month, that has been the experience of cheering for the Royals. The Royals had a long losing streak where they lost 10 of 9, or 9 of 10, excuse me. They lost 9 of 10. They then followed it up where they won 9 out of 11, and they are currently right now on a streak where they have won 2 of their last 7 games. It has just been a hot and cold back and forth, just uncertainty with the Royals now for a month. That I said this when they were in the Royals will get hot again. There's no question, right? It's baseball. The Royals will sweep somebody. They'll have another winning homestand. They will do something that will give you reasons to be excited. But in the same way that you know things can be good with your partner, you also know at any moment they can just start complaining about absolute nonsense and ruin the rest of your day. You know both are very, very possible. That's how I feel about the Royals. I don't know what version of the Royals I'm going to get.
To your relationship analogy, I think it's very good. I think the Royals want to be in a relationship, but I don't think they act like they're in a relationship. Like, they're like, hey, I want you to be with just me, but they don't text you, consistently. It's intermittent. They don't make plans with you. They don't make you a priority. It's like, you want this thing. Why are you not giving that thing? The Royals want to be a playoff team. They want to be a team that is, we treat them the same way we treat the Chiefs. They want to be in our lives, front of mind for all 6 months this summer. That is what they want. And yet, they don't act like that's what they want because they have these peaks and valleys that makes it very difficult. So for your racial analogy, I think they want to know what we are. They want to be in a relationship, and yet they're acting like we're just, friends. I don't understand it.
Yeah, so at some point, you just got to come to the conclusion of we're not doing this anymore. We've all been in that situation. Hey, this was fun, but it's run its course. Hey, you had a good time. I had a good time. We don't have to have some knockout, drag out. We're not married. We don't have kids together. I'll go my way. You'll go your way, and we both can be happy. That's what I'm saying with the Royals. I'm with you. The Royals give off all of the energy that they want this to be a more serious thing than what it is. And then when I watch them, you got a chance to really make it a serious thing. This team was 2 games under 500 with 2 home games against the team that was in first place in their division. They lost back-to-back games. You now lost the series to the Chicago White Sox, a team that you have dominated. The White Sox have won more games against the Royals in 2026 than they did in 2024 and 2025 combined. And you still got more games against them. They might sweep you today. So I don't care what the Royals are saying. What the Royals are doing is we are a 78-win baseball team, which, okay, that's fine. You can live with that. Hey, go out there, get yourself a bobblehead, get yourself a T-shirt, go out there on a hot dog derby night. They'll have a concert that you want to go to. They'll bring back some 90s rapper you haven't heard of. Sir Mix-a-Lot will sing after the game. I'm sure it'll be great fun this summer. The World Cup will be here, but the Royals are giving you no reason to take the Royals seriously and think that you can take things to the next level. They've given you no reason to feel that way about their team. If you missed Andy Reid, he was on the show earlier. We'll play it for you in the 5 o'clock hour. Keep it right here, so drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
The baseball season is moving along, and it's rivalry week in the sport. And FanDuel is introducing rivalry weekend bonus bets. Bet on a home run this Friday and get bonus bets for every home run that player hits this weekend. So whether you're backing a player on your favorite team or you're simply fading your rivals, there's more ways to get in with the action with rivalry weekend bonus bets. Head to FanDuel.com/local. It's almost written in stone that if you're born in Kansas City, you got to hate St. Louis. We don't like them. They don't like us. That's what a rivalry is based on. So with the Royals and Cardinals going up against one another, it's time to take advantage of rivalry weekend with our friends over at FanDuel. So head to FanDuel.com/local. One more time. That's FanDuel.com/local. Your home for home runs. It's also the official sports book of us right here at 96.5 The Fan. And required. Must apply blast bonus token. Bonus issued and I will drop a bonus back. With Fire Center in the street, which can apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Pool days call for cookouts and lots of laundry. This Memorial Day at Lowe's, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances to keep dishes, clothes, and food fresh. Having fun in the sun is easy with us in your corner. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
Not loving your AT&T or T-Mobile bill? Yeah, we've been hearing that a lot. Good news. Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to Verizon and we'll give you a better deal. So get away from that unfortunate phone bill and get to Verizon. Run, ride, canoe. Whatever it takes, we'll be here. Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal on the best network. A better deal. No surprises. That's Verizon. Best network based on root metrics, best overall mobile network performance, U.S. second half 2025. All rights reserved. Must provide a recent consumer mobile bill and the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Brought to you by the Kansas City Win Nelson Trade Show next Friday, May 22nd at the Boulevard Drive-In. Looking for dependable HVAC equipment that gets the job done? Check out Oxbox at the Kansas City Win Nelson Trade Show, May 22nd at the Boulevard Drive-In. Straightforward solutions built for real-world installs, plus food, giveaways, and 30-plus vendors. Hosted by Kansas City Win Nelson.
You can listen to Burns on Deck Show starting 1 hour before first pitch for all 162 games this season on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app. Get ready for the game with Touch 'Em All and listen for your chance to win Royals tickets during the pitch clock. We are in your car, we are on your phone, and we are free for every Royals game this season. Tune in to Burns on Deck Show 1 hour before first pitch, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
635 both directions, heavy approaching the state line. 670 westbound slows from the state line across the river. Stays heavy to the I-70 merge. 70 westbound slow approaching as well. 435 southbound on the Missouri side off again on again. Slowdowns from 210 down to Front Street. Allen Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, welcome back into the show. If you missed it, we were joined on the show earlier today by Andy Reid. We'll play that conversation for you coming up at the top of the hour, so don't turn that dial. So the Chiefs' schedule is starting to become more and more clear. I'll run through it coming up at the top of the hour. At this point, I mean, I think we basically know the Chiefs' schedule. We're just waiting to see what the cool graphic is going to be. I think I could tell you the Chiefs' schedule right now from start to finish. We'll do that coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. But I do want to talk about this. If you're a Chiefs fan, I think you got to be real happy with the schedule. I do. I think you got to be real happy with the schedule. So let's go through it. Their first 2 games of the year are at home on national TV. They host Monday Night Football. They host Sunday Night Football. Now, I'm just going to guess. I'm just going to guess. The people that run these television contracts and the people that govern the league, I'm going to guess that they're real smart, busy, business-savvy individuals. Do you guys want to know how much ESPN pays for the NFL license? They pay $2.7 billion for the NFL. Do you guys want to know how much money NBC pays the NFL? They pay the NFL $1.7 billion. If you break down how much NBC pays per game to broadcast the National Football League, they pay somewhere between $120 and $140 million to broadcast the game. Now, in being a very smart, business-savvy individual, if you had a question about where Patrick Mahomes was going to be and if he was going to play or not, and in trying to put the best product on television, wouldn't you just wait till later in the year? The Chiefs play a home game against the Jets. Why can't they just play the Jets in week 1? They should win that game. There's a storyline you could sell. Justin Fields going up against his old team. You could put that game at noon, and no one would even blink an eye about it. It would make a lot of sense. The Chiefs also play a home game against the Cardinals this year. I'm guessing that game, they're going to be giving tickets away to that game. That's the game to take your family to, Chiefs and Cardinals. But they're starting the season with Chiefs and Broncos, Chiefs and Colts on Sunday Night Football. You think they're putting Justin Fields out there for 15 million people, 20 million people to watch? Absolutely not. Patrick Mahomes is playing. So I thought this, and this is not Johnny come lately. I've been saying this now. For those of you that listen, you know I've said this. The NFL was going to tell us how they felt about Patrick Mahomes playing in week 1. They've answered my question. They think he's playing. So I will be operating this summer like Patrick Mahomes is going to be there. Some of you might not be, and I can't tell you how to treat the summer. But I will be having every conversation this summer with the anticipation that Patrick Mahomes is going to start against the Denver Broncos and start against the Indianapolis Colts in week 3. That's the guess that I am going to go with. So that's number one. Number two, you're not avoiding one of these holiday games, not if you're a good football team. Everybody's got to do them. You might not want to do them. Everybody's got to do them. The Cowboys got to do it. The Patriots got to do it. Everybody's got to do something. You either got to go international, you got to play on Thanksgiving, you got to play on Christmas, you got to go make some money for the man. And you know what? In terms of going to make money for the man, I think the Chiefs got a pretty decent draw. The Chiefs don't have to go internationally. We thought they might have to go to Spain or Germany. They don't have to go international. They get to play on Christmas, which is a regular Thursday schedule, and they avoid playing on Christmas, which we were just talking about doesn't really seem that popular with you guys. You guys don't really like when they play on Christmas. So no international game, no Christmas Day, a regular Thanksgiving game. They played on Thanksgiving last year. And I would say, based on the way the schedule comes together, they're telling you that Mahomes is going to be there. So I don't know if you can complain that much about the schedule. Yes, there's always going to be a difficult part. There's always going to be this. There's always going to be that. That's just par for the course when it comes to building an NFL schedule. But I would say the big things that you are looking for, I mean, even the game against Buffalo, you would deem that to be one of their most important games. It's on a short week. It's on Thanksgiving. They got the Cardinals at home before then. Now, I know it's the NFL and it's unpredictable. I don't see any scenario in which Arizona is really good this season. They might be better than you think they're going to be. What scenario do you think that Arizona is really good? Jacoby Brissett's starting for them. Jacoby Brissett's their starter. Arizona is trying to win the Arch Manning sweepstakes. They're not trying to win the Lombardi Trophy this year. So I think for the most part, the Chiefs won when it came to the schedule. Now, I do think there is one portion of the schedule that tomorrow, when it's confirmed, all your favorite sports talk shows are going to be talking about how difficult this stretch is. Well, I want you to text it in their show and tell them what I am telling you. Please don't worry about that. And if they're worrying about that, they're wasting your time. Let me give you some NFL facts. 7 years in a row, a team that picked in the top 5 of the NFL draft has turned around and made the playoffs the following season. So that means teams that were bad, teams that we think are going to be bad, one of those teams is going to drastically exceed expectations. Drastically exceed expectations. I think we also know, just based on history, one of the 4 teams, maybe 2 of the 4 teams that made the AFC Championship game or NFC Championship game are outright missing the playoffs. It will be a season from hell. Kansas City was that team last year. I'm not throwing no shade. They were one of those teams. They had Super Bowl aspirations. They won 6 games. They were eliminated at Thanksgiving time. It can happen. It happened to you. It can happen to anybody. It will probably happen to San Francisco or the Rams or Chicago or the Patriots or the Broncos, because that's how the National Football League works. We already know that at least 5 new teams are going to make the postseason. That's as consistent of NFL stat that you can have. Last year, did you know that 62 different quarterbacks started a game in the National Football League? 3 different quarterbacks started a game for the Chiefs. So right now, while you're all worried and you're, oh man, there's this stretch that I'm so worried about. I mean, this is a difficult stretch. I'm not going to lie to you guys on paper. On the road against Buffalo, on the road against the Rams, on the road against Cincinnati, home against New England, home against San Francisco. I mean, that is not an easy 5-game stretch on paper. That is not an easy 5-game stretch on Madden. But we know that those 5 games, 2 of those games are going to end up being a dud. Maybe because of Kansas City, maybe because of the team that they're playing. All 5 of those teams are not going to be good. That's not the way the NFL works. Somebody's quarterback is going to be injured. Somebody's going to be worse than you think there's going to be. Somebody's going to get bit with the injury bug. Somebody's going to disappoint. Just don't worry about it. Don't play the schedule game. Don't play the schedule game now. You want to play the schedule game? Let's play the schedule game in the middle of October, in November, and when we're trying to figure out who's good and who's bad. That's when I like playing the schedule game. Well, this team hasn't beaten anybody. That's a fun schedule game. Playing the schedule game in the middle of May, Just come on now. Like, you've been watching football for too long to fall for this. Somebody's going to lose their quarterback in training camp. Somebody's going to lose their star wide receiver in the offseason. Somebody's star player is going to get in trouble in July, and they're going to get suspended to start the season. Like, with this, come on now. It's the National Football League. You know this. So just relax and just let's let the season play itself out. So tomorrow when you're listening, like, I'm just tell them that Carrington said to not worry about it, and that usually in the NFL, things work out how they're supposed to work out. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will go through all of the confirmed Chiefs schedule dates. I think at this point, I can basically tell you every game that they have. I'll attempt to do that, and then if you missed it, we'll replay our conversation with Andy Reid. That's all coming up. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Brought to you by New Century, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. You'll always pay less in Paola. Northland 435 southbound gets heavy past Parvin, stays very slow all the way down to Front Street with an accident reporting. Spring hail means big savings at New Century, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. Save up to $15,000 on hail-damaged new and used vehicles, plus all factory incentives. But this hail of a sale won't last long. New Century, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Paola. You'll always pay less in Paola. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends over at Gates Barbecue. I just ate at Gates Barbecue on Sunday evening, and let me tell you, oh my goodness, it was delicious. I went to the one over there on Main Street, over by Liberty Memorial. I got the little wing pack. I got 5 wings. I got me a little bit of fries with it, too. I also got the burnt E-Mac. I'm telling you, trust me, listen to me. The next time you go to Gates, please make sure you get that burnt E-Mac. It is very high on my list of best side dish in the city when we're talking about barbecue. You can get this at any one of the Area 5 locations, and they got so much more than that. If you got a sweet tooth, you want some desserts, you can get the cherry pie at every location. You can get the yammer pie as well. I put Rob onto the yammer pie. He was eating pumpkin pie his whole life. You know what? Not anymore. Now he's eating some of the yammer pie. I also want to tell you guys, with Memorial Day right around the corner, go stop by any one of the area locations. You can pick up a party tray. You got people coming over. You can pick up some supplies. If you're going to barbecue on your own, you're going to throw something on the grill, pick up some of that classic Gates sauce, pick up some of that classic Gates seasoning. You can also get some seasoning for your salads, so you can still have some of that Gates taste, even if you're trying to eat a little different and you're trying to eat green. Whatever it is, I'm telling you, Gates Barbecue has you taken care of. So it doesn't matter if it's on the website, doesn't matter if it's at your local grocery store, or if you stop in store. Whatever you do, make sure it includes Gates Barbecue.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcast.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in prizes this mid-year's Eve. Saturday, June 6th. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold hard cash at midnight. And leading up to the big finale, we are calling names to win $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn entries all throughout May and June. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Streaming May 15th on Paramount Plus. Beth and Rip are back in Dutton Ranch.
This life here is gonna work, isn't it?
We'll make it work. Starring Kelly Riley.
A legacy is a beautiful thing, but only if it survives.
Cole Hauser.
Let's go to work.
Ed Harris.
Family is the only thing worth fighting for.
And Annette Bening.
I can make this a lot harder for all y'all. And peace will have to wait.
Dutton Ranch. New series streaming May 15th on Paramount Plus.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
What's up, Foos? Main event Jey Uso here from the WWE. When it's just me between matches, it's day one-ish. And that means it's Chumba time. With hundreds of casino-style games and new titles arriving weekly, there's always something fresh to try at Chumba Casino. The daily boosts make it even more fun. And have me about to get them all during my downtime. Ready for a fun way to chill out and enjoy a few minutes for yourself? Let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T's and C's. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
Tonight, expect a temperature of 66 with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is on Wednesday, June 10th on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right. Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. We got a lot of stuff to get into and don't have a whole lot of time. I promise you, if you missed the Andy Reid, we will play the best of it here coming up in 10 minutes. But let me give you what we believe to be the Chiefs' schedule before we get there. So I will tell you the games that have been confirmed, and then there are 2 games that have been unconfirmed. I will tell you based on piecing it together what I think they will be. I think we know the Chiefs' schedule. Week 1, the Chiefs play the Broncos on Monday Night Football at home. Week 2, the Chiefs play the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday Night Football. Week 3 is currently open. Rob, putting it together, I think the Chiefs are going to play the Dolphins on the road for Week 3. Week 4, the Chiefs go on the road to play the Raiders at 325. We also don't know the Week 5 game. I believe that the Chiefs are going to be on the road against the Atlanta Falcons for Week 5. Week 6, the Chiefs have a home game. They will play at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 7, the Chiefs go on the road on Sunday Night Football to play the Seahawks. Week 8, the Chiefs go on the road to play the Denver Broncos. Week 9, the Chiefs have a home game against the New York Jets. I believe their bye week is going to be Week 10. Week 11, the Chiefs the Chiefs are at home and play a noon game against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this next portion is where people think the difficult portion of the Chiefs' schedule is. Week 12, on the road against the Bills. That's on Thanksgiving. Week 13, on the road against the Rams. Week 14, on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals. Week 15, at home against the Patriots on Monday Night Football. Week 16, at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Week 17, on the road against the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 18, they play the Las Vegas Raiders. We obviously don't know what time that game will be because they leave all of those games open. I believe that is the Kansas City Chiefs schedule. That is all of the confirmed dates and also me sprinkling in just based on who's not on the schedule and what logically makes sense. Also seeing what is confirmed for other teams. I think I just gave you the Chiefs schedule. You don't even got to wait until 7 o'clock. I just gave it for you.
It's a lot of road games throughout the season that you think's coming.
Sure.
That's a lot of away from Arrowhead, which would mean that Chiefs get a lot of back at Arrowhead later in the season, which I imagine when the schedule's released in 2 hours, fans and Arrowhead alike would rejoice because that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, this schedule, now kind of looking, if I end up being right, there are 2 pockets in where the Chiefs would have 3 consecutive road games. They would have 2 of these games, they have to play them. So maybe I'm just wrong in which the order is going to be. But if I'm right when it comes to this, weeks 3, 4, and 5, they would have a road game. Weeks 12, 13, and 14, they would also have road games. Now, you got home games sprinkled in, and at the end of the season, 3 of your last 4 games will be at home. You also get the Jets at home. You also get the Cardinals at home. So, I mean, you're fine when it comes to that. But, yeah, at least the way that it is breaking down, they would have 2 pockets of 3 straight road games.
Which I don't have every schedule in the NFL in front of me. Sounds pretty reasonable to have pockets of 3 straight road games. Also, would make sense to me that they would probably start more games on the road because you'd probably have to be putting seats back in Arrowhead when you consider that Monday Night Football is there, and then you got to figure out post World Cup. So that I don't think that's a bad guess by you as how the schedule is going to come together.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, couldn't their bye week be week 5? I mean, I
think the Chiefs would be irate if it was, and that would be our lead tomorrow if their bye week's week 5.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I could be wrong. I told you the games that I know, and then I added in what's left and where I think it's going to go. So I obviously could be wrong. Their bye week could be week 5 and week 10. I would be surprised if the Chiefs got the absolute earliest bye possible in the National Football League. That's when byes start. Byes start week 5 through week 14. I would be surprised if the league gave the Chiefs the earliest available bye week. And then, in theory, I mean, the league is also believing that the Chiefs will be a good football team. That means their plan is for the Chiefs to play from week 6 all the way up until, based on their calendar, week 21, week 22. I just don't think that they're going to ask the Chiefs to do that. So I could be wrong. I would just be surprised if the Chiefs got the early bye. I'm guessing that they're going to get the medium bye, and they're going to have their bye in week 10.
Yeah, that would make more sense. And I don't know the Chiefs have any say over this, but it's not like some secret. The Chiefs prefer their bye being later in the season versus earlier. So sure. Last year, that was one of the things people got mad about is they had a very early bye. I believe the bye last year was like week 7. It was around Halloween. And that's frustrating for the team considering they do get strapped onto holidays later in the season. So your guess, we'll find out in 2 hours, is not a bad thought as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, no, for sure. We will absolutely find out. So, again, those are the games that are confirmed. So, right now, the weeks that are confirmed are 1 and 2. So, I guess the better tell you the unconfirmed days. The unconfirmed dates are 3, 5, and 10. Every other game for the Chiefs is confirmed now at this point. So, we are trying to figure out weeks 3, 5, and 10. So we now know what weeks their bye week won't be. Their bye week can't be week 17. It also can't be week 3. So it has to be either week 5 or week 10, just based on the NFL's own rules. We will find out the official schedule. That is just at least my read on the situation. So let's get to the hits. Hit number 1 is very simple. We have the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs on the show earlier today.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Earlier today on the show, I was thinking about how I was going to phrase it, Rob. I was like, oh, how do I want to say this? How do I want to start this sentence?
I was watching the stream like, did he freeze in real time?
I was like, oh, how do I want to start this? So earlier today on the show, we had the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid was on the show earlier today. We will play the best of that conversation for you. Our conversation when Andy Reid started with, we hear a lot of Patrick Mahomes is ahead of schedule. As the head coach of the Chiefs, what does Patrick being ahead of schedule mean to him?
You know what? That's a phenomenal question that you're asking because I don't know who made the schedule. Everybody's so different. And so when I kind of hear that, I go, well, today he's doing great. And he's done better every day that he's been in this thing. And that's one of the primary things that you look at. You want to make sure they're making positive progress moving forward every day and not taking steps back and definitely not re-injuring himself. So so we've done a good job of that. He's done a great job of it. He spends 7 hours in this building busting his tail every day. And our physical therapist, Julie, does a nice job of challenging him, and he wants more. So he's doing good. But I imagine if there was a schedule, he'd be ahead of it, but I don't know what that schedule is.
When you're tracking his growth and you're tracking his development, are you keeping more of an eye on how physically he's doing, or how mentally he is doing and just trusting his need to do all the things that he can do?
Yeah, well, he's so stinking positive that, I mean, he thinks he can do anything. Yeah, I mean, that's just how he rolls and how he's wired. So I don't, he feels like he's going to be ready to go, and let's go play. I mean, that's his mentality. The reality is we got doctors that are evaluating him, and our training staff, Rick Burkholder and his crew, do a great job. They're evaluating him. He's got to make sure that he gets himself in a position where, he can get out of the way of things and doesn't have any restrictions to his mobility, and that's what he's working on.
Last Patrick question, and we'll talk about the running back additions that you guys have made. What's the balance that you have in preparing him for the season, but also not throwing too much on his plate to allow his body to heal naturally?
Yeah, well, he can throw the ball and do his thing with that. So he can stay up on all the plays that we run in phase 2. There's no offense versus defense or any of that. So that part's that's no problem. And he can keep his timing up with the receivers. But we'll see how it goes once you get an offensive defensive line in the mix. So that would be a training camp question. We'll just see where he's at.
What is it like working with a group that has had the amount of turnover that you guys have had over the last couple of months?
Yeah, listen, it's been fun. It's we've got Chad O'Shea, who's been doing this for 24 years. He's been in this offense. He's worked with EB before. Worked with Brad Childress when Brad was the head coach, and so he understands the offense. He's coached some great receivers and been with some great teams, and understands all that. And he's a nice addition. So it's DeMarco Murray. He's doing our running backs now. DeMarco played in the league for a number of years, was an all-pro player, great player, and with the Dallas Cowboys, and we've welcomed him aboard. Eric Bieniemy actually recruited him when he was in high school, so they've known each other a while, and to add him into the mix here is, I think, a real positive for our guys. He's smart. He's a good communicator, and he's been there and done that. So it's great to have him as part of this thing.
Coach, as somebody who has gone through this, you've gone through this in multiple positions. How do you balance where you bring these new coaches in and kind of having them do it your way? You have a system. Your system has been very successful as you've been a head coach, but also allowing them the freedom to do things their own way.
Yeah, Carrington, you've heard me say this before. I want the players to let their personalities show. I want the coach to do the same thing. At the same time, we do have a way that we do things, and there's certain things I want your contributions, but at the same time, there's certain things that we do, that we just do, and so and these guys are all wired to where they understand that, and that ends up being important.
Right now, we're talking to the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, for a few more minutes here, getting his thoughts as we are in the middle of the Chiefs offseason. I want to ask you a question really quickly about Rashee Rice. Have you talked to him about the importance of the next 9 months for him? He's had a little bit of an up and down last 18 months. We don't have to get into all the details, but he's coming into this season healthy. There's no cloud of suspension that is hanging over him. This is also a contract year for him. Have you guys had conversations about how important this season is for him?
Yeah, well, you don't have to do too much talk on that. I mean, he knows. Nobody knows better than the player in those situations, and so it's important, though, that he just keeps showing up and doing his thing, and so he's been doing that. He's been here the whole off season, and he's a great player. It's just a matter of making sure everything's taken care of and he can keep himself on the field.
Coach, you have a lot of confidence in this wide receiver room. What are your expectations for this room heading into the year?
Yeah, we've Xavier's another year older. He's healthy. He dislocated that shoulder early there, and his ankle was messed up, so he's back and cranking there. And Thornton, we were able to re-sign him, which I thought was a big get. Royals is a year older and strong and healthy. So that's a nice nucleus of guys. And then we've got a bunch of numbers there. We picked up Allen in the draft from Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati. We like him, and so on and so. We've got people there returning, and that we feel we have a real good feeling about, and most of all, that Patrick has a good feeling about. And so I think we're okay as long as everybody's out there and going. That's a good thing.
This question isn't directly specific, I guess, for one person because multiple people fit this, players on the offense and players on the defense. I had a former NFL player tell me that when you look at a player's growth, the biggest jump they're going to take is from year 1 to year 2. As a coach, what growth are you looking for in a guy like Josh Simmons and a guy like Jalen Royals to be bigger contributors to the team?
Yeah, sure. Well, the main thing, again, with Simmons was just staying healthy and staying on the field. And I'd say he had a pretty good rookie year there. He did a nice job at that left tackle spot. And he'll take another step up from there. Just having been there and done it. And I think he has the confidence that he can compete against most guys in this league. And he definitely has that skill set for sure. He's a talented kid. Royals is strong. I mean, he's out here doing our off-season program, and he's strong. Kick catches. His hands are strong. His core strength is strong. A lot like Reid that way, where he's put together with that great core strength area, and so he's a smart kid. So that's those are all things I think that'll benefit him in his second year here.
Coach, one thing I've learned about football people is they are very routine, very regimented. What was it like to not have work in January?
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a longer off season for sure than we've had, but at the same time, I think it's been good. I think we've handled it right. We've been working as a staff, trying to fix some of the things that we thought needed fixed. I think Brett Veach had time to kind of go through things, and he got the coaches involved, and not that he doesn't always, but he's had more time to do that. And so it's I think it's been good for everybody, and we'll see how everything works out. I thought the draft went well. I think that was a product of all of us having the time being here, and then the fact that we didn't win as many games as we wanted. We had some higher picks, or at least we're in line for some higher picks, and that benefits you likewise.
Coach, I got one more football question here, and then I'll ask you some questions about you. How important was it to add to the running back room when you factor in Patrick's injury and kind of easing him back into it the first month or so of the season?
Yeah, I thought just in general, I thought we could put together some guys. We had some free agents. I mean, the guys that were here had done a nice job, whether it's Pacheco or Kareem. I mean, we had guys that were good football players, but we were able to bring in Kenneth Walker. And I mean, you're talking about the MVP of the Super Bowl. You're talking about a guy that had a phenomenal year with Seattle, and he's a guy that loves to play the game and is talented. And football is very, very important to him.
Right now, we're talking. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then we, at the same time, we were able to pick up DeMarcado from Arizona, and then a couple draft picks, and that's that's also important. Whether it's Smith returning, who had been draft pick the year before, or Johnson coming in, Emmett Johnson coming in from Nebraska as a draft pick this year, and so I think we've got a good nucleus of guys there.
Right now, we're talking to the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, for a couple of more minutes here. Coach, I got a couple personal questions to get you out of here. We have a pretty major event coming to Kansas City this summer. You're a soccer guy. You're going to be at the current game on Friday. Do you plan on going to any of the games in the World Cup?
I'll probably be out of town. We finish our OTAs right before that starts, and normally I leave for a couple weeks there. And so I probably won't go to those, but I think it's a phenomenal event that's coming to Kansas City. Kansas City loves soccer, and you're bringing the world to them. I mean, that to me is a beautiful thing. And I would imagine that this place will be sold out and rocking. And, if it's not, probably shame on us. So I think it's a great venue for people to come watch a soccer game there. I had a chance to watch Messi and his team play our local team here, and I don't know, last year I think it was, or maybe the year before, and it was in Arrowhead, and I just thought, I'm going, what a venue, man. I mean, for soccer, these guys, they play their tail off. It was exciting, great site formed to watch. Every seat's available for your sight lines, and it's for great sight lines. And I just think it'll be great, and it'll be great. And then we'll welcome people in from other countries. So how great is that? I mean, just think if you're coming from one of the South American teams or wherever you're coming from, England, and you have an opportunity to eat a little barbecue. I mean, does it get any better than that, right?
I'll get you out of here with this last thing. The social event of maybe our lifetime is happening this summer. Have you received your invitation to Travis's and Taylor's wedding?
Well, I probably have. I probably have. And, and if I don't outgrow my tuxedo before then, I'm going. But you keep talking about this barbecue, I might have to go get some.
Coach, for this thing, you got to get a brand new tuxedo. You got to get something you've never worn before for this one.
I'm not the show. I'm just going to show up. Those guys, I'm so happy for them. When you really come down to it, doesn't matter how big the show is around them. They're in love, and that's the most important thing.
That was the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, joining us on the show today. If you missed any part of it, be sure to check out the podcast page, 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. So while we were replaying that conversation, Rob, I got a phone call. And the phone call said that the Chiefs' bye week is week 5. That is the phone call that I got. We were just having a conversation, and I got a call that said the Chiefs' bye is week 5. Now, I'm stunned that is the case. Stunned that the Chiefs got the earliest bye possible. I also I'm stunned. Week 10 just made all the sense in the world why that would be their bye.
Listen, I trust your source. I trust your information here, and if that's the case, that is the worst thing that could happen to the Chiefs. Maybe this is I don't care about the TV show that is a schedule release, and I don't care because it's May. But the only thing I keep an eye on the schedule release day is national televised games, which the Chiefs have like 1 billion every year, and when the bye week is. And the bye week being week 5, that'd be before Halloween. That's the earliest you can have a bye, basically.
No, it is. It is the earliest you can have a bye. So let me look it up. I'm here going to look up the schedule now by week basis on when the bye would be. But if you got a bye in week 5, your bye is like early October then if that ends up being
It's like the second week of October because the 14th's the opener. We know that. So 14, 21, 28, 5. Yeah, it'd be the 12th of October is your bye week.
It'd be earlier than that. That was last year. That was 2026. My bad. So, yeah, it'd be October 7th, 8th, somewhere in that range. That's a really early time to get your rest week. A really, really early time. Now, all of this will be confirmed, but I absolutely trust the person that told me that the Chiefs bye week is going to be early in the season.
Well, I'm not doubting your reporting. Can you imagine me like, yeah, I don't trust this, but I'm going to go to air with it anyway. It's a wild sentiment if you had done that.
No, I'm just telling you. I 1,000% believe the information that I have. I wouldn't tell you if I didn't feel good about it. I know that the Chiefs bye week is week 5. That's how I'll put it. I know. I'm stunned, surprised, speechless is the word I would use right now. Speechless. That this ended up being the case. I did not think they were going to do that to the Kansas City Chiefs. We will react to the official schedule tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're also going to go around. You guys know, every year when we get the schedule, we will head to every NFL city that the Chiefs are going up against for a preview. I love tomorrow's show. It's one of my favorite shows that we do all year. Excited